He's actually the FBI agent that's been assigned to you.
I'm just more concerned that fucking Target's got guys wearing bulletproof vests walking around. That really tells you you're in a bad neighborhood when the fucking local security guards are armed to the teeth better than you are.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah, I guess
Our Targets aren't like that either.
that's normal out here. I don't think
Yeah,
I've
it's
ever been into a
normal.
store in Portland that didn't have like security armed. Man, at the Fred Meyer's over here, the fucking security guards carry like fully like rifles. Like that's not even a joke.
Yeah, DM, there's a YouTuber down here, does YouTube shorts. He's an asset protection guy. He doesn't carry a gun. He
What?
doesn't wear bulletproof vest. Nothing. It's just
What?
a guy.
You're telling me someone works in asset? Wait, is this like retrieval?
He's the asset protection manager.
So he goes out and
Well,
picks.
he's a manager.
I said,
But he still does the chasing himself. He just has other people with him.
That's some
Yeah,
BS, man.
my father works security in a hospital, but he's got the vest on, and stuff like that.
That's a hospital.
I don't know. I mean, you can ask Wolf about this as well, man. I don't think I've ever been in a Portland store other than like West Hills or like far like north of Portland, where like you get more of the Washington rich folk. That
But
ever had a store that wasn't fully armed.
Here especially, but I know it's most of them. If you go to steal, they just let you leave. They just report it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. It's not the theft that's the problem out here. It's the shooting.
I know.
I think.
Well, yeah, no one shoots our like Walmart workers out here because what would they?
Oh, we had
No
two
one
shootings this morning just as I was walking back from Target.
Yeah,
I
that
could
doesn't
hear
happen.
them going off. First, I was like, "That's
Yeah,
not a firework."
That doesn't happen often in Claremont.
Like,
I gotta
like,
ask.
Didn't Florida
think at
change
all.
the laws, though, so anyone can conceal carry without
That's
a
why-
license or registration?
That's why no one's robbing
want-
places.
I don't know if we have constitutional carry yet.
I'm gonna be honest. Someone getting shot down here is like bigger news.
Well,
Is that
no,
You'll
look-
probably find it in Orlando more often. than
I gotta ask. Have you ever played the game in Claremont of is it a firework or a gunshot? Can you
No.
tell the difference?
Yes, I fired a gun.
No, I mean, okay, well, I mean, I'm talking about not a gun you fired personally that you're holding. I'm talking about if you hear something blow up in the distance, can you tell the difference between a gunshot and a firework? And can you tell me
No.
what type of caliber that gun is? Because I can do that
I
almost.
can't. Now, here's the thing. I probably could because of the amount of fucking fireworks we get down here.
Yeah,
I
we
know-
know fireworks.
We know fireworks.
We know fireworks more than we probably know guns, and that's gonna give us the
But
difference.
DM, unlike you, we'll know a gun's like, oh, that's not a firework.
Well, I can sit here and I can
It's not
tell
a
you.
firework.
I can tell you if it's a 45, if we're dealing with a small caliber, if it's a cop gun, like,
Listen,
yeah.
it's, over our horizon, if you're at the right spot in Claremont, you could see the fireworks from Disney every night.
Yeah.
Dude, if I look out my window, I can watch someone get shot in the head.
Yeah.
Dumb.
We can tell the difference because we know fireworks. You can tell the difference because you know guns.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what type of firework it is. I can just tell you if it explodes and it doesn't have enough or any reverberation, it definitely ain't no gun.
That's true. Well, I mean, if you're closer to the fireworks, you'll feel it in your chest.
No, I'm talking about the sound of the reverberation, my man.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, you'll understand more if you ever want to come out here. But no, like I'm so tired because like when Wolf and I went to Best Buy, we didn't have any issues, right? Now, given the place was packed and we just went and stood around the TVs while we were waiting for the guy to finally come talk to us, so I imagine they probably realized what we were there for. But like if I walk into Best Buy myself, like I had this happen when I went with my folks one of the times because they were up buying some movies or some shit, and I was looking for a TV for an apartment I was looking at. And so we go in, I'm wearing a leather jacket, a hat, but my leather jacket's open. You can see all around, it's not long, so it's not like I'm hiding anything, and I don't have big pockets. I had the inside security guard lady following me around. I had the employee manager following me around for an hour, and yeah, it just kept going. Anyways, it's 3:05. I don't want to hold up too long, so yeah, fuck that though. Anybody who works security, if you watch this, fuck you. If you live in Portland specifically, especially. Otherwise, welcome, and thank you all for joining us for another episode of Peaceful Future.
Yeah, it's always a Mission.
It truly is. You'll have to excuse me. I've had a lot of coffee today, so my brain is a little scattered. But we come back after a missed session last week due to, unfortunately, too many party members not being available. We decided to do about a week off while the party was traveling to the city of, let me pull up the name here, Koroi, a tiefling town on the beach that a couple of players are familiar with. The city being surrounded by fields of amber wheat and barley growing about. And as the party had entered the town, they took some time in between. I believe you lot were looking for a ship, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
We were-
because we need a ship to get to the Tothlands.
We had gotten a map first, but yeah,
Yes.
we were looking for guys.
Yeah, so we come back about a week later of you lot spending your time in town, in the town of Karai. No large town by any means. Having grown under the Silversong administration, the town itself is still only about 100 people strong. Much of the townsfolk mostly live outside of the town and the surrounding fields, working them as they till the land and make a living. As you lot took your week to relax, unwind, and start to come to a plan, you lot found out from a pirate. Give me a minute to pull up this person's name. Yes. So a Nordic captain had made. Or has made anchor here with a full crew, having mentioned something along the lines when they came into the tavern about serving alongside the Grand Admiralty of the previous pirate organization that had sworn fealty under the Silversong household, and seemed to be looking just for somewhere to dock for the night as she set up her crew. Of what you can gather, about 10 goblins. That seem to all each have their own little unique personalities and look about them. As she kind of sets up with the innkeeper getting a room for the night, the goblins go about walking through town, heading off while she stays in the inn, hanging out. But otherwise, as you lot have spent time in this town, you have not seen any other ships that have come through. And as your party, only two of your party members know, the only place that sells flying ships at this point that are nearby are north in near Dragon's Gate.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm just getting back to town from my little escapade that I vanished and went and did.
Yes, so amongst you lot, as the week went on, most of you split up, found yourselves other tasks to take care of, training for some, exploration for others. As you lot have gathered back at the end of the week, having been 5 days, the sun shining in the early morning. About nice 90-95 degrees with clear skies, the nice beach air hitting blowing through the buildings. You all come back together, minus Key, who seems to have still has not returned. Last thing you had heard from her was something along the lines that they were going to be traveling to one of the local towns nearby to see if they can gather any more information on a couple of people they're looking into. And that they said they would catch up to the rest of the party if need be. So, yep, as you all now gather in the tavern itself, a small rundown building, with the old man working the bar, long white hair, very gray skin, horns that look to be deteriorating, kind of just clearing the bar. The smell of food and drinks can kind of wafting from the kitchen, mostly of fish and rum. So what would you all like to do?
When was the last time we ate?
Last night, the night prior.
Okay, food time. That's where Sigrun's going.
All right, Sigrun. Sigrun, as you walk over, the gentleman or the old man just kind of nods at you as you come to the bar and shouts out an order of a special to be sent to your table. and just
Hell yeah.
looks to you and kind of in Infernal speaks and says, "Do you speak Infernal, Sigrun?"
Yeah, I speak Infernal.
In
I
Infernal,
also do.
he goes, "Oh, as you all can kind of hear this light conversation goes, coffee or rum?"
I will go with rum. In Infernal, she would respond.
He nods and goes, "Rum for the table." And he shouts out in Infernal again as you hear the cooks respond in the back, and he just nods as he goes back to cleaning a glass.
Yep, she'll like give a big thumbs up and she'll head to the table the party's got.
All right. As you all sit back down, Durali coming into the inn, coming back from her adventures, you all gather around the table. Ticarius Vormorn in the back in the roof stable, being fed some of the top branded carrots from the inn itself. Though they are infernal carrots, it seems that Ticarius has taken a liking to them.
Oh no, he's getting a taste of the high life.
Only the best. My old Ticarius.
You originally would have fed him some of the wheat or barley, but after seeing the odd color, realized it might not be for the best.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
I need to get actually, I do have a question.
Yes.
How would I go about getting a new familiar?
You're unsure. You can roll a Arcana or a History check. They will give you different answers.
I'll roll Arcana, and that's an 8. Don't worry.
You
about
weren't
it.
kidding about your rolls tonight. From your understanding of how the magic works, and given your upbringing, from your understanding, it's based on your bloodline. Depending on which house you're tied to, will depend on the familiar you get, or that seeks you out. However, it is very uncommon for anyone below the nobility to naturally be able to summon a familiar, or at least that's what you were taught.
Gotcha, because I mean, I had, the pseudo dragon beans, and I've
Yes.
lost them. I just need to find a way to get another one.
I mean, you could try and resummon a pseudo dragon and see if a new one appears. Beyond that, you're unsure how it all works. You're not even sure if beans will just show back up.
You know what? That's an excellent idea, because usually if something, like, if your familiar dies, it kind of just disappears. So, I guess I'll attempt to, resummon my familiar. My pseudo dragon.
Give me a D100 roll.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Don't worry.
Vormorn dies. 84.
Alright, you see as this pseudo-dragon, who's very tiny in comparison to what Beans was, not very physically buff, very lean-looking, with long, actual humanoid eyelashes that seem to kind of sparkle in the light. They seem to slightly change color as it smiles at you, and it introduces itself as Cobra Funk.
Cobra Funk the pseudo dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I like the name. You know?
Hey, it works. Alright. Cobra Funk.
I was really waiting to be like IW Beans the second.
Well, like I said, if I had a choice of a name, I was gonna name it Bacon.
Vormorn, you know for a fact that pseudo-dragons are still dragons, so names are a very powerful thing. What you call your pseudo-dragon to while others are around is one thing, but the true name of the creature is what it gave you.
So it was Cobra... what?
Cobra Funk.
Cobra Funk.
Yes. Literally how you think it's spelled. I'm not...
Yeah, I assume so.
I have a table of names for pseudo-dragons, don't worry.
I'm going
Dragon, familiar variant. We'll put that in my extras just to keep track of them.
I am going to buy him a magical afro at some point.
Alright.
Alright, name.
As you all watch as Vormorn summons a new pseudo-dragon at the table, a couple moments go by as Durali comes in, sits down at the table with the rest of you. The innkeep brings over a round of food, setting down plates of the local catch from the morning for each of you, as well as a very large glass of a full horn, there we go, of what looks to be a very dark rum. As he hands it out and goes back to his bar.
Cares. 1 nay for water, 2 nays for beer.
Are you gonna go out to the stable to talk to it? Or talk to your horse?
Of course.
No?
I want to make sure I'll even stay out there with Tycharis.
All right. As Vormorn excuses himself, taking the plate and the rum with him, and heads out towards the stable. The rest of you are left sitting in the room.
Tycharis.
Guess I'm gonna start eating.
All right. Roll con checks for the entire party. Vormorn, also do it for Tycharis.
Uh-oh.
Con check or con save?
Con check.
Okay, con check.
Con check, and then do I get anything?
Yes, small cat.
Nice.
Small cat.
For-
Coming.
14 for me, and as for Tycharis, that's a 19.
I rolled a 10.
10. All right. And so-
I got a only an 11. I rolled bad, but I do have the poison immunity. If it's anything related to that.
No, you're poisoned. So as you, Durali and Vormorn, the fish isn't bad. I mean, it's definitely, you can definitely tell it's fresh. The taste is definitely there. It's different than what you're used to, as it seems to have a lot more spice to it, almost to a very high degree. Durali, while it kind of seems to agree with you, being a tabaxi fish is a pretty common staple, and spice is not something unheard of, as the tabaxi and the tieflings trade quite often. Pretty much very common day for you. Vormorn, you get a little bit of spice, but nothing to really bother you. Just a little bit, enough of a kick to add some flavor. Tycharis seems to appreciate as it takes one of your fish, and as a couple of beers are brought out for him. Sigrun and Lucius, as you two start eating, the spiciness is a bit surprising, catching you both off guard, causing it to kind of envelop your mouth.
Oh, I'm just gonna start going for rum then.
As you start drinking it, Lucius, you're an experienced traveler. You can definitely tell the rum's watered down, so it's not strong, but it is enough to get the spice after a few good big gulps gone. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw to see if it gives you any sort of a buzz. Sigrun,
All right.
as that spice really starts to envelop, it just keeps hitting you more and more, but it's
18.
18.
I enjoy it when the food fights back. She's just like shoveling it down.
Tear running down her eye.
Sweating.
I will not be bested.
Durali is looking at Sigrun while she eats at like full speed, like nothing's happening.
More out in the back, I'm like, whoo wee, this got bite to it.
Is this salt? It's spicy.
I have grown weak eating the food of my companions. I must build strength.
The old man kind of comes out from behind the bar and goes,
Did you add fresh black pepper? That's too much.
Lucius, as you drink, the rum's very, very dark, and the sweetness to it is definitely very enlightening, or very, very tasty, but it doesn't seem to give you any of a buzz. It seems to be too watered down to have enough strength to it. Definitely a breakfast drink. As the old man kind of comes over, seeing you guys crying, and goes, "Can I offer you a less traditional menu?"
No, it is wonderful. I love it.
I need some milk.
He looks over at Lucius and goes,
What else do you have?
Well, I've got a couple of dishes we've picked up from some Dragon's Gate travelers, if you'd be interested.
Sure. What would those be?
Easy. He pulls out a little menu from his side pocket of his apron, and he goes, I've got bacon with sliced bread and fried eggs, garlic and fish broth.
I'll take the bacon, eggs, and bread.
Alright, he kind of looks like he takes the fish plate off and he goes, no worries, free of charge for what you didn't eat. We'll just give it to the dog. He turns and walks back out. A few minutes later, returning with what looks to be a fresh plate of a large thing, about 6 eggs, about 7 strips of bacon, and about 4 slices of bread set aside.
Can I reach for Lucius's plate while they're gone?
Oh my god.
Wait.
Trying to steal off the man's plate.
The fish?
He does.
I think.
Yeah, the fish.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
I mean, does he even want it?
No, it's not for him to notice. It's if the waiter or if the old man notices as he's watching on the bar.
That's me.
Oh my god.
As you unceremoniously looking at Lucius, licking your lips, grab one of the little red snappers off of his plate that's covered in like a really thick red sauce that Lucius, you can smell the spice coming off of. You watch as Durali just kind of slowly drags it as if pretending you can't see her and puts it on their plate.
I'm just staring at Durali as it happens.
You watch Durali just starts chewing on the fish and the sauce getting right above her lip, not even phased.
Subtle, and I turn back to my bacon.
The old man takes the plate later and then
Do
brings
you-
out the plate of bacon.
Do you need tips? Do you need assistance? As just Sigrun's to like tears, just like towering through the food.
You know, if Sigrun did not have a mass amount of pelt, you know, for her hair, I feel like Sigrun would just be beet red. The spice.
You can definitely hear
Probably.
the thing with Sigrun's anatomy. You can definitely hear Sigrun sniffling quite a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's-
she's got a big snout.
Yeah, and the one you notice, Durali and Lucius, as you look on, is Vormorn's out in the stables with Ticarius currently and Cobra Funk. But Sigrun's one tear comes down only on one side of the face, like the other one refuses to cry.
It's like that scene in a
Only
fucking
allowed one.
Clone Chain of Meatballs where the police officer just sucks the tear back in out of sheer force of will.
Exactly.
It's not tears, it's sweat.
Yeah.
Scrofe don't cry. Scrofe just bleed water.
Is there an empty cup anywhere near Sigrun?
No, not at all.
No.
No, other than the rum they're
You're a
drinking.
strophe. Wonder how magical that is.
Yeah.
It's a rare find.
But as you lot continue to eat, a few minutes goes by with Vormorn rejoining the party to sit down, as Ticarius is now good and hammered in the stables currently, neighing loudly as he continues to try and mount one of. What was it? A horse? You're not sure, Vormorn. When you looked at it, it's definitely a mount as it had a saddle, but it was orange and had weird like whiskers coming out of it that kept flying about.
That's strange.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fuck someone else's mouth.
As you
Wait.
all kind of sit down and sit around the table, after finishing your breakfast, you have a moment to kind of plan.
Ugh.
So, when are we setting sail?
Sigrun's just like dying in the background.
Well, considering the circumstances, probably sooner than later.
And second thing,
Agreed.
so, I know I personally think we should fight the Taw, but I know that might not be everybody's prerogative. I guess we should figure out whose side we're going to be on, if we're going to fight both sides. What's the deal, folks?
I mean, if you have a plan to get us in the city and before we get noticed, I'm all ears.
I
What
mean,
about
I'm
be the situation again? The whole the different parties.
Alright, so here's the deal. That robot
Yes.
feller is kind of on this purge the whole organics deal, which I'll admit, not that good for all of us. Against the Toth, which are also not very good people, so it's kind of like two bad people fighting against each other. But if Robot, wins, the world ends. Because, Abaddon and shit. So we could either
Yes.
try to find a way to destroy the Toth's portal, and then fight the Toth, and then fight Robot. Maybe we can even find a way to convince Robot that not all organics are bad, and maybe it should be done by a case-by-case basis. Or we could stop Robot, let the Toth survive, let them gain more power, and then become maybe a next world-ending event.
So it sounds like we don't stop the Toth, we're fucked. But it also sounds like we're gonna have to fight this robot guy either way.
Yes, unless
If he,
we're able to
if he hates
convince
organic life, I don't think he's gonna take well to us mentally.
You see, yeah, that's the whole deal. No side's a good side.
Also, I doubt robots gonna listen to reason to anyone that isn't organic.
I mean, maybe we can find an organic sympathizer amongst the non-organics to, have a word. I heard he was traveling with a bird person, a kanku or something. I mean, they're organic.
Now you know how rumors are. He could entirely be not organic. We don't know.
I mean, it's very possible. I think we should go over there and see what the situation is ourselves. Because personally, both sides aren't good. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking either side, personally. I just don't like the Toth more than I
So,
don't like
is the
robots.
plan destroy the portal, but also get the robot guy to fuck off?
Kind of.
I mean, to be honest, yeah. Because they're both a threat
Oh.
to man, to,
So I was
the
going to
world.
say, they both,
Oh,
and then it sounds like if we just stop one, the other will just keep causing the problem to escalate. It's more of a matter of
Oh.
which one is higher priority.
I
I
need to
personally
put
think
thought out.
Toth is the main threat.
I need to put the thought out there. If we break the Toth's portal and don't kill their top casters, they're just gonna rebuild the portal.
I agree.
But if we break it and then we stop robot in time, do you think that will solve it or no?
I think the top
Probably.
casters might need to go.
That's fine. I'm used to killing casters.
It's just that the Toth, as you know, are quite above even, I believe. DM, are the Heli and the Toth matched in magic capacity or ability, or are the Toth kind of even higher than?
So the Toth technically have more magic. Problem is their bodies are very frail. So naturally, because of the fact that they gave a general gist of what the world knows about them is that most believe they gave up their physicality in exchange for higher gifts of magic. Where the Heli draw their magic from the dragons, the Toth no one knows where their magic comes other than the belief that it comes from chaos itself. But if we talk in terms of like who can cast a higher spell slot, Heli will beat them 9 times 10. An individual Toth is not very strong. It's when they get groups of them, and their biological weapons are scarier.
For feel, DM told me that an 8 Condom Toth is impressive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The average.
An
Yeah.
8 ton?
Let me
An 8.
like. There's a picture in the Toth here.
They're not
I
gonna have
assume they're all like anorexic kind of.
Yeah, let me show you what I use. So this was an artist drawing I had done up for one of my, or when we were making the game when he used to work for me.
Because I know a lot of us are quite physical.
So this
I mean,
is
that's
what
some
the
powerful
average
magic,
Toth
but, yeah.
looks like. That is considered peak physical condition.
Oh, let me take
That-
Sigrun take a gander.
Sigrun walking in with like a 20
Oh my
plus
God.
in strength and
On normal,
bottom.
they have a -3 to their constitution as a
She's
stat.
in her enlarged form, she's gonna step near one of them, and the vibration of her weight on the ground will stop their heart.
Because Sigrun, do you have the white Scrofe cloak, or was that somebody else that had it?
No, it was someone else. Sigrun okayed it because the Scrubby was
Terra.
already dead,
Terra
but
had
she
it.
didn't take it.
Tara had it. Because I was trying to remember who had the magic resistance cloak.
It wasn't
Yeah.
magic. So all it gave her, because she herself was magic, it gave her fire immunity.
Okay. Yeah, but so yeah, they're gonna be good for. I mean, quite a few of us are like melee classes. You know,
I wanna say-
Vormorn, Sigrun, Lucius. We're all pretty. We can go in and rough them up. It's just a matter of
Mhm.
range and
I
spells.
out there, Durali and her 1 foot tall blurry has a 16 in con.
I honestly think because I know Robot's army is probably gonna be a far more martial and bare knuckle brawl,
100%.
which might slow us down more possibly. I don't know for sure.
Well, the danger is literally just we have to get in the city without being noticed, because if they find us in, they might just turn on the portal.
Yes, but also maybe not because we're not robots. They might even tell us if they do capture us. They might be like, yo, we'll let you live if you fight against robot, and that's worst. That's like best case if they do capture us. But I
The
believe
Toth
we're
are
all.
Age Hunter. They hate everyone but Toth.
I mean, that's true, but like I said, there's greater and lesser evils. We're probably to them, if they see us, not as bad as robot. They're not stupid, is what I'm saying.
Look, either way, we have to get to that one first.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we're all pretty stealthy, right?
Oh no, no.
Screw nuts.
I am
Oh,
wearing.
I am not.
I'm wearing half plate. I'm very not stealthy.
I have scale mail.
Ooh.
so
Yes,
then my
your
question
armor
is
is
that
an issue.
Yes, I guess being that an armor, is there an item that we could get that might be able to cast Pass Without Trace?
We'd have to go commission one somewhere.
Yeah, because that would be able to get us to sneak in without much issue.
That means we have to
I
go
mean,
walk.
Because even though this might be an option, I'm pretty sure that the Toth are gonna have stuff to counter against ethereal plane. Because
I think they're gonna counter against casting spells in their city that aren't them.
If you all want, you can give me a history check to see if any of you know anything, instead of trying to guess.
Sure.
I take
Well,
history.
let's take a gander.
All
I
right.
got a +0. That's a 19.
Okay.
Hey, 13 minus 1, 12.
Okay.
I could have rolled way worse.
This isn't Tabaxi history. This isn't my.
Yeah,
maybe
either.
Morn's formal noble house heli knowledge might come into play here.
Yeah. Lucius, did you want to roll?
What was it? A history?
Yeah, for
History.
the Toth.
Are they considered Fey Fiend or undead? No,
Oh yes.
they are. Okay. Wow, it didn't really matter. It was a 11.
Okay. All right. So, starting with everyone but Vormorn in this situation, as you all rolled right next to each other. So you all know first off that the Toth historically, while fragile, have enslaved and wiped out everyone else on their continent. They have won wars against the Rakshasa, the Kanini, the Heli, the Halflings, the is it Centaur? One sec, let me make sure I've got the right fucking term here. Is it Centaur that's the horse people? Yes, okay.
Yes,
and the
yes.
entirety of the Centaur nation. Noting that historically what is known about these people is that they were most of the nations they beat were either very physically adept or very scientifically adept, meaning they relied on technology to take over or to deal with their day-to-day lives. Vormorn, due to your closeness to the Tothlands and having grown up with your house, you had access to more information. Not necessarily the highest information, as you weren't part of the main bloodline, of course, but you had access to books that most wouldn't. And you would know outright that the Toth have created biological weapons that the Heli even are found to be jealous of, that they have been trying to compete with and capitalize on. The Heli have never managed to actually defeat the Toth themselves. Also to note on that, the Toth are also one of the few races that are confirmed to have actually fought against the Cloud Giants, and some believe that they won, as there haven't been many civilizations or many showings of Cloud Giant civilizations in history. So many have come to believe that they're one of the few races that have actually managed to defeat them. They're also one of the only races to defeat the Dirko, another race who is well known to the Heli, which you would know this, as a race that basically were the dragon-born slaves of the Dragon Empire back in the First Age. Their hero and god that would come to be Himkin would be one of the leading protagonists in the removal of the dragons from the world and getting away from slavery. However, it should also be noted that the Toth have actually never lost a war that they've started. They have fought in Abaddon, they have fought against themselves, they have fought against pretty much every nation except for the main Redenian lands, and defeated them. So yeah, in your understanding, Vormorn, the Toth were an empire that you grew up learning that were not to be taken lightly. The Helly have always considered them to be their biggest competitor and their biggest problem, which is also one of the only things that have kept the Helly from outright invading everyone, is because they're afraid the Toth would counter-invade them and attack from their island, because they have an army of biological weapons that are big enough to counter.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Our biggest issue would be the bioweapons, and as you said, of course I'll relay this to the party, but you said they have never lost the war they started.
Correct.
Have they ever lost a war that they didn't start?
They've never. There's never been a war fought against them that they didn't start. No one's willing to go to war with the Toth.
Because it looks like Robot.
Robot is the first person to ever be willing to declare war on this nation.
Because from what I they're. I mean, I don't know if, since they're robots, a bioweapon might not have too much effect if it's like noxious gases and stuff like that, if they're not breathing it in. But maybe it's because the Toth normally study who they're about to fight and perfect a weapon against them, and Robot didn't give them the time.
Could be.
To prepare.
I would say this is the first time someone has also been daring enough to land on their island. The other nations that stayed on that kind of came around the Toth, you would know, which were the Sable, which are the Centaurs, and the Halflings, were both immediately enslaved pretty early on in the histories. There's not much that has been talked about, like what happened. Not much was documented. They also wiped out and genocided the entirety of the Elven nation that was in the was near them, supposedly. No one knows where they lived, as the nation is wiped out and there's not much listing of history of them, just that there's a couple of the remaining of the race wandering around, but not enough anymore to recognize them as their own. They were genocided down to the the youngest of children, from what the history state. The elves are supposedly the only race that managed to give the Toth a little bit of a difficulty, and this was believed because, at least historically, due to the fact that the elves were an organized force, whereas the Toth were still in their Stone Age clans and individualistic families, and they still managed to win.
Yeah. So we gotta be cautious about a lot of stuff that the Toth have. Although I'm ready to bring the fight to the Toth. They're not. They haven't prepared for Robot.
Sounds
and the
like
reason why they're about to end the world is because they don't want to lose.
Sounds like the longer we wait, the better they're going to get. And I feel like if anybody stands a chance, it's a group of adventurers, right? We're a bunch of different races, different people, different backgrounds.
Shock and awe.
They're not going to be able to predict what the fuck we could do, because I've met many different adventuring parties in my time. None of them are consistent.
Listen, I just gotta, bring this forward and let you know, unless I'm actively attacked by many, like the base civilians, probably not gonna fight a lot of those. Probably more so the people at the top, the ones in charge.
I would assume so. It's a waste of time to kill civilians.
No, listen, I kind of just met you folk. I'm just trying to put that out there. I don't know how you all operate most of the time. I know we've had a little bit of time together, but I just want to just put that out there.
No, that is a fair thing. That is a fair thing. I do think our biggest concern is the magic they wield. Now, if we were a group of all Scrofey, I wouldn't be as worried, but considering you, my friends, are not innately built to withstand such powers, I feel like we need the use of items. Unless you think we could, free my people in the time it would take to get there and stop the end of the world, but I have doubts.
I mean, we could use a Scrofey army against the Toth. That might be interesting.
If the war happens, if we can't stop it, it will be a requirement. I will assure you, unless there is another race I'm unaware of that has innate biological resistance to high levels of magic.
The
Oh,
Rakshasa.
Rask.
Rakshasa, the Dirko, the ancient elves that got wiped out. Actually, a lot of races from the world of Incremia have a natural magical resistance. Not as high as
wow.
But
the
is it
Scrofae.
not-
I'm pretty sure some
To
of
the
the ones that you
Scrofae
just listed
level.
off lost to the Toth still.
Well, yeah,
because-
most have actually still lost to the Toth. In fact, and the Scrofae would have avoided their island, so just because, well, Walking
'cause
Dead
Scroffa's
people.
got beef with other people.
Well, I will also mention most of the Toth lands are inland, so like most of their core cities, so there's nothing to raid for the Scrofae.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing is, the Scrofae and Toth haven't run into each other. That means the Toth they haven't had to practice against the Scrofae.
Well,
The Scrofae have dealt with similar people.
I mean, the Toth are smart. They may not have done this, but knowing that the Heli have taken your people, I don't think it's going to be that far-fetched for them to think that the Heli might use them against the Toth.
Actually,
Like slave warriors.
here's something I'm gonna send you real quick. Cook, the timeline is roughly about right for one of the things you'll know.
I mean, yes, but I would prefer that don't happen, obviously, personally. And also, the Scrofae will not fight the same free as they will enslaved under people. That is, warrior spirits, the mentality is a big part of the culture. Yes, there's probably still going to kill. If it came to that, the Heli would have plenty of bodies to throw at them, but would they win? Probably not.
Okay, I just remembered something from my education days. So, way back when, during the Blood Wars, there was, a war between the Heli and the Toth. So, the Heli, according to the Toth, apparently we had a secret army that got led into their capital and destroyed quite a bit of it. Now, if we, one, free your people, maybe even make our own little army of the Heli, if we can gather some people who are opposed to slavery to join us, maybe we want to fight the Toth, because I can promise you, Heli don't like the Toth. We might be able to maybe scrounge up some information on how they brought that army in there.
That's
I doubt
yes.
the Toth know either.
That would be what? How do they say? Two bodies, one axe. Is if the information
Two
would
birds,
be in
one
the
stone,
same.
but you got the gist.
Why the fuck would you kill a bird with a stone? You'd shoot an
I pull
arrow.
out the brick.
Have you not used a sling before?
I pull out the
No,
brick. with the
they
stone.
break in my hands. Every time I've tried to use one, they have snapped under the pressure of my grip.
Yeah, how
Rock.
about this? Two necks, one axe.
I will
Yeah, okay,
say the only downside with this that I can see is, the Heli recently had some issues with people Sigrun and I were with, so they may not
They're
be
not,
very welcoming of us.
They're not going to be welcoming if I'm around in general. I
Well,
don't believe.
True.
Listen, and I killed a few of their nobles, so I mean, I don't think we're all really that great.
Have we considered? Have we considered? There's an alternative. It is how do you say? Morally, it is iffy. But if we were desperate to divert the Toth's attention and help free my people, then maybe we'd have ways to cause the Heli and Toth to fight again, and spark war. And when they go to war, we free my people. We could stop the Toth and stop the Heli in one go, which is part of my plan.
I'm pretty sure the only reason why the Heli haven't gone to war with the Toth is because of those Duramar domes that happened, That really probably hindered the heli progress right there. But if we managed, we could probably spark something. Maybe get them to
I
go
was
to
going
war
to say,
while the
if
Talk are
you-
having issues.
If you think we could talk to either the Heli or Toth to convince them to fight, and then
It would.
take advantage of it, or since you are Heli, if you just want to, just to spruce up your appearance a bit, go in and start some shit, and then back out and frame it on the Heli.
It would have to be the heli win sight. The Toth aren't going to go to war while they're stuck fighting the robots.
Yeah, I agree. It'd have to be the heli go to the Toth, not the Toth go to the heli.
See,
They're going to play defense.
yes, I will have to probably be stowed away during the conversation. I assume they will not just want me there, and if I am just there, I am fairly certain there's going to be, like there was last time, a bunch of cocky nobles who are going to say shit. And I'm gonna be honest. I have the self-control. It is very thin, very thin. She makes a gesture with her big fingers to show, just when it comes to the heli, I am how is it said with the comment? Fed up with the bullshit.
I hate to break up the lovely picnic we're having here, but I do believe most of us lives are cursed, and I don't know how much time we have. We should
At a point.
probably start moving.
So make your pick. Are we going to the heli wins or the
I
Toth win?
wonder, is there any heli nobility you love that you could kill off with the curse, Foreman? Is there just anyone?
Why would you ask me that?
Also, I doubt he does.
Why are you
I'd
asking
say-
if there's anyone I love in the Helilands that's gonna die from the
The
curse?
nobility. Can you bring yourself to just love one of them, and then they'll die from the curse? There's no way I can. I would suggest it, but I think it is impossible for me to do such a thing. But I figure because you know them a bit better.
Listen, I understand you don't have a like for the heli, but that's kind of cruel.
I also don't think love really works that way.
Literally, I can't. You think I could love someone knowing that me loving them's gonna kill them?
I mean,
I don't know.
do.
I don't know if
is
you're
it?
capable of doing that. I don't fucking know.
Listen, do not have the best time for romance. My job is killing people. I have seen lovers die together
I'm
in
pretty
battle.
sure you have more romantic interest than anybody in this party.
As you say this, you hear someone will come through the front door of the town. And for those who are facing towards the door, you see an old-looking dwarven woman with very long curled black hair and green eyes, very rugged-looking, about 4'1", and extremely muscular. As she comes walking in and goes, "I'm looking for a Sigrun Bjorn Neko?
Yeah, Bjorn Neklo, yes.
Neklo? Alright. Listen, she kind of walks over, as you see the glasses, now that she pulls out a little thing, puts them on, they're thick. As she pulls out a little letter and opens it and goes, apologies to interrupt you all. My name is Bori. I work for, well, it doesn't matter. I was told to read this letter and hand it to Sigrun Bjorn Neklo.
Yes.
So it says this. I have captured Zarius, and I'm going to stick his dick in something. I'm not repeating this full word for word here. And here is his finger with a ring on it.
disappointing.
This is what you get for betraying me. And then he said to hand you this little red box with a bow on it, and she kind of hands you a little tiny red box.
Sorry, my comment not so good. Who sent this?
Some weird dude with some human that paid 25 gold pieces and had a mask on. I don't know. He just handed it to me and said he'd pay me to drop it off at this tavern at this day, at this hour. I'm just doing my job. She goes, listen, there's not many jobs out here for a hill dwarf. We're not well liked amongst the Silver Song lands. You gotta understand, I'm just doing work here.
No, no hard feelings to you. I'm just, it is no fault to you. The guy who sent it's a big dick, and it was just very bad timing for him to send this. As she's like opening the box, she heard the letter. She's like knowing what she's gonna find, but she's still opening it anyway.
As you open it, you find the pinky finger with a very large ring on it, a large golden ring that has a big ruby gemstone that says the Clan Zarius carved inside of it. For those of you who have been to Dragon's Gate, you would recognize this, as this is a very well-known item. This is a Zarius signet ring, which says you are part of the clan. Only members who are fully part of the clan have rings like this.
She like opens it, sees it, lets out like a big long sigh, closes the box, and she puts in her bag of holding.
Okay. The woman just kind of looks at all of you and goes, "So, I'm good. I'm
Yep.
just gonna."
Why
yes.
wouldn't you be good?
I don't, unless you had a part in cutting the finger off. No, I have no.
Wait, there's a finger in that box?
Did you? You
Yeah.
read the letter.
I thought it was a gag. I didn't.
No.
Wait, I was
No,
delivering a finger in a box? I've had this thing for 5 days.
The man who sent it cursed me, and I'm pretty sure he just cut the finger off my betrothed to be wed, who is Zarius of Clan Zarius.
Wait,
So I'll have to give that back to him.
you all are the group who fought. Wait, hold up. I know you. You served under Hawken. She looks over at Sigrun and Lucius. You served under
Yes.
that emperor dude who got post-mortem turned into some big king, right?
Yes, that did happen.
Oh, well, fair. That explains. You lot are heroes in some lands. A lot of us were. A lot
And
of people have been.
probably very hated in others. And she
Oh.
chuckles.
You do have a wanted poster back in the Redenian continent. Apparently, the new
Ooh.
emperor wants all the members from his father's party or from his father's group killed. She goes, I don't know what the value is. That's just what I've heard along my travels.
Do you have one? This is the closest I've come to merchandising myself so far, which I'm planning to do.
God.
if you have a spare wanted poster, just so I can have a look.
No, all my stuff comes from the road.
Ah.
If you're wanting something like that, you're probably gonna want to look at some of the bigger taverns and inns. I hear Dragon's Gate's got one of the biggest bounty boards in the world. They keep track of everything.
Oh, good. Wait, if I turn myself in can I get the money and dip? How does that work? How do self bounties work?
We've had this talk 3 times in 2 weeks. We're not talking about this again.
Bori just kind of looks back and goes, "Well, I'll be on my way unless you plan to tip me." All right then. And she turns.
Question: the letter you. Well, I was gonna offer payment for a thing, but I
Oh,
guess
what?
not.
Yeah, what? No, yeah. You need something?
The person who's had this letter to send to you. Are you able to send a letter back to where this person is?
I mean, I might be able to
Or a
find
message.
him. He paid me a good amount of gold to find
If you can't find a human, if you can find the dwarf, the one who the finger comes from, that is more important to me.
Oh, yeah. Easily. Man like that's not hard to track.
All right. I'm not good with the letters, so I'm just gonna give you a message. I'll just give you a message.
She pulls out
Tell
a little
him-
notepad, starts in a little piece of
Yes.
charcoal.
Hello, Zarius. I finally managed to send a letter. I have, I think, your finger and ring. It is kept safe. When we meet again, I will return it so you may have it. You may have it fixed. What is the thing that the people in common say when it's like letters, but it means like kisses, right, or something?
She looks at you and goes, I got this.
Okay, yes, I hear you're supposed to make these things romantic at the end.
Would you rather, love
No,
poems are much better.
Actually,
My
yeah,
ex-husband.
Tell him that when I find the man responsible, when I have the time, I will bathe in the blood of the one who did this to him, and I will bring him his corpse,
Would I
and
can
he may
fit it
do with
into
it
my
what he
schedule?
wish.
She just kind of continues to write this all down.
Yes. You know, I don't know how to translate it to common, but us Scruffy, we are a big fan when we talk about killing the foes for each other. It's a very romantic gesture. I'm sure you
Sigrun,
understand.
just so you know, I know how to find him easily as well.
Good. Yeah, I figured that saving the world thing takes some priority, but after, I have plans.
Yeah, so was that.
You watch as Durali kind of breaks out a little pen and some paints and a piece of paper and starts painting. Vormorn and Lucius, with your passive perception, Sigrun is distracted talking to Bori at the moment. You will notice that Durali is drawing Sigrun. Like
I will also while the ladies writing this, Sigrun's just gonna hand her a casual 30 gold pieces, just this is enough, right?
She looks, that is more than I've seen in my entire lifetime, and I'm 255 years old. Yes,
you
young
said
lady.
the man who sent it gave you a lot. I didn't want to cheap out.
Yeah, I really need to get into these venturing messaging. That's gonna be my new business at this rate. And she takes the gold and goes, "Yeah, I'll have that in 5 days." To
You
him,
should start a porter's guild.
You know,
Right?
if you get me one of those calling crystals, I'll hire you to move things for me all the time.
Yeah,
kinda
I was going to
pulls
say I need people who can translate for me. I'm bad at writing, and then all the pens break in my hands. So
she starts digging around in
I
some pockets and different bags along her legs that she has. Finally, pulls out a little crystal and goes, "Yeah, it should work. Bori under for Fury. Your Oni delivery services. Don't worry about it. And you see at the bottom of the crystal it says, violently reacts to grass."
who does she give the crystal to?
She just sets it on the table.
Oh, see, I mean, if no one else goes to grab it,
I'd like-
Sigrun will grab it. Okay, yeah, you can take it. Sigrun's not gonna fight you. Alright,
Looks
good.
back and goes,
Good.
"Yeah, feel free to contact me anytime you need. Is there anything else on the letter I'm sending?" And she closes up her thing and puts it in her bag.
I'm gonna hand her the picture of Sigrun. Just bring this to the same person.
Oh, not a problem. She takes it, and you see she casts some magic
God,
on it.
is that me? I want to see it.
Yeah, as you look over Sigrun, it is a perfect portrait, almost down to the detail
Ooh.
of painting art, showing you sitting there,
Damn.
reading writing or speaking the letter out loud to Bori, who's in the background of the painting of the design.
How majestic and powerful and strong does Sigrun
You look
look in this?
amazing. This legitimately
Oh.
looks like a masterpiece of artwork.
You did not tell me you were gifted by the gods of art.
I mean, I'm a
You
noble.
must. Is that just a thing nobles do?
We all learn an art form.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I will say, Sigrun, even your muscles are outlined. Like, you can see the definition proper. This is impressive.
Hell yeah.
As
Hell
the woman
yeah.
looks at it, she goes, not a problem. And she kind of rolls it up after waving her hand over it, casting what looks
I'm
to be
sure
some sort of magic.
Zarius will. Did we just invent basically the fucking fantasy version of nudes?
No,
Just
it's a
like-
love.
It's a tasteful piece.
Okay, so it's a tasteful selfie.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a design. It's basically the painting looks like appears as you side with your face turned into a side profile, talking to Bori, perfectly depicting you at the table.
Oh hell yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's literally from the moment as Durali was just.
I'm glad you painted this after I stopped crying over the spice. That would have been very embarrassing.
Well, I should paint that. I'll paint that later.
No, I'm building an immunity. She has, by the way, ordered seconds and thirds, and she has been eating more food as this has gone on. I'm building an immunity.
Alright.
I will be stronger.
Bori kind of turns and starts heading towards the door and waves, and then as you hear the doors close behind you, all hear in the distance they're walking away with your passive perception. Someone scream, "Is that fucking grass? I'm gonna take your head off!"
What does?
No idea.
Is there? Sigurd just gives the others a look.
All right,
Is
so
that
we're
So are
Okay.
we heading home, or at least
Yeah.
heading to my home?
I'm gonna leave 10 gold on the table and just start making my way out.
all right. I guess we're inciting. Yeah, all right.
Alright,
I
going to
mean,
Helen. Going.
I don't have any other ideas to deal with the Toth other than to either have a bunch of my people or to make them fight the Hellies. So unless you all
Mhm.
have better ideas, That is what comes to my mind.
Although I will say this, once we bring the heli into this, and if they do, if it's similar to what history says, then we could be fine. However, if this is a deal like the heli like do a two-pronged attack and attack from the other side of the continent, I'm pretty sure the Toth might be like, well, shit. Guess it's time to
Well,
blow
I mean,
ourselves up.
if anyone can close the portal after it's open, it's gonna be the heli.
I mean,
Mhm.
I would hate, and I personally would never be the one to do this, to ask the heli nobles for assistance, but as much as I despise what they stand for and what they've done to my people and countless others, the nobles are strong magic casters. That is just a fact. If we really needed people who could close it, there's probably people there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure not everybody openly is against the slavery of your people, Sigrun. But
If
there's quite a few people who aren't for it.
If you think there's enough resistance to get this a foothold, or if there are enough nobles who can at least see reason, then I will trust you to lead. And I will stay back and try not to get killed or kill people. It depends. Again, I don't know how big a target I am to them, but after I showed up to their place and we left, their like big fancy building exploded and a lot of people died, and it was kind of my party's fault. So I don't know how much they blame me for that.
I want to.
I was associated.
It was entirely Terra's fault indirectly.
Yeah. She only remembers like Hawken like casting that big storm spell that fucked up a bunch of people.
Oh no! So right before that, Terra had told you as you were leaving, one of her underlings had robbed all the nobles. That was the smoke cloud as he ran off.
That was the building exploding as we were leaving.
Oh
Yeah.
my fucking god, that's
That was
great.
one of Terra's underlings.
I love that. But yeah.
All right, you all, as you come out of the inn, I will mention you watch as Lucius just starts walking north.
If we don't want to have to deal with the boat business, I could try to teleport us.
How far is the heli land?
I believe across the water, I assume?
Yeah, so, there's no way to travel there by foot currently, for what you're dealing with. To get to the Heli main continent, which is their southern lands of Olympia, it would take, by boat, from where you're at currently, roughly, probably about 2-3 months journey.
Yeah. Sigrun has...
Dragon's Gate will probably take you about 2 weeks to get to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sigrun has recently, when I was, like, missing those, like, sessions and stuff, like, when the new members joined, she did spend time scouting in the Heliland, so she would have places she's been to teleport to, which makes the success rate far higher than normal. Usually she doesn't. She has been to places.
Or I could bring us, or on the other options, I could teleport us to Dragon's Gate. So I'm almost certain I've been there at least.
Oh, shit. Yeah, go for it.
So we're gonna teleport to Dragon's Gate, then what?
Then we can get a ship from there. Or we could try to teleport
I thought we were just going right to the heli. I mean,
why we were here was to get a ship.
Look, all I know is I'm looking at Lucius walking toward Dragon's Gate.
yeah, Sigrun's also walking with. But I know originally we were going to get a boat to go to the
DM said the only place we could get on
Zothlands.
Dragon's Gate, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I misheard that.
We could let Sigrun... I mean, we could take multiple shots trying to tail us to the Helilands one after another. It's worth a shot, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do think having an airship would be very helpful, but also, I believe the heli are airborne. They're likely going to see our shit.
Well, only the nobles can really fly, and even so, it's a very physically taxing kind of thing.
Yeah, but we're also on a strict schedule. We don't know how long we have.
Yeah, so Fine. Let's just go. That's what I'm trying to say. We gotta get a move on.
All right, let's go, Sigrun. I believe in you.
All right.
Too bad Lucius is all the way down the road. I guess we just gotta,
I mean, I could easily catch up. I've learned he likes to have space. I think the smell of people overwhelms him. He's got like the bear senses.
Can I
He
hear
could
definitely.
definitely.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she's about to end.
I'm
He
just
can
gonna
definitely
start
hear
sprinting
us.
towards them.
Turns and starts running back. All
It's
right.
like, oh shit! Wait, hold on. I don't want to be alone. Wait.
As like
almost
Lucius is.
alarming sprint speed. I'm just dashing at
Don't
them.
leave me, please.
Alright, Sigrun can like.
Sorry.
I could like double dash in a turn with my rogue shit. So, are we racing? Is this a race? It's a race.
No, he's running back towards you, Sigrun, as you all are standing there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
y'all were
Oh.
sitting there talking. I had already left the building.
yeah. As you guys came out, he was down about a mile to the north, and as soon as he heard you, he turned around and ran.
She's just like, yeah, he's got sensitive smells. I mean, he could honestly probably hear us from where he is as just Lucius is sprinting full speed at the party.
Alright, I'll get Ty Karis, saddled up.
Tyker, as you put the saddle on, he is kind of drifting side to side as you're kind of setting him up.
Listen, I tell you time and time again not to drink too much, yet here you are.
You see the two horns of ale that you had set aside for, and then the destroyed bucket that you can definitely tell had its top kicked in and was full of booze.
Hey, you just go heels to the wheels, don't you?
The Tykeris falls over on his side as you say that.
Is your horse drunk?
It
Yeah.
neighs.
Do you need me to carry him?
No, it'll be
It neighs
fine.
again.
No, everyone gather around old Ty Karis here. We'll just teleport him along with us.
Okay.
As you all kind of gather
He's
around.
gotta learn his lesson. Can't just keep getting babied around like he was when
I'd
he was.
like to.
just
I'd like to
human.
climb on Sigrun's back.
Alright. You Stigger, and you feel like a pull on your hair slightly as you suddenly feel Dorali climbing onto your back. Alright.
Yeah, I wonder how Key's gonna join us. But
Good question.
He's got.
As you all kind of circle up, Sigrun, is Sigrun using their Oh. Let me get a sparrow. No worries, yeah, I'll give you a sec. I was gonna say, was it Dorali or Sigrun who's doing the teleporting?
It was
I know
Sigrun.
Raleigh's been to
I've been to
Dragon's Gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are just
Oh,
heading
Sigrun.
straight to the Helilands then?
Yeah, Sigrun's taking us there.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry,
Welcome back.
literally, I
No, you're good.
had it plugged into charge and it just died for some reason.
Yeah, no, you're fully good.
So we are traveling by axe to the Helilands.
Yes, if we travel to the Helilands, I'm fairly certain Sigrun's been to some like caves or some shit she's hidden in and camped out in where she can teleport us.
Alright.
I can reread the spell description, but I believe it says like if you've been to a place that is underground and you try to go to it, it's like maybe not 100% success rate, but it's very high.
Yeah, no, you're right. Give me a second. I'm just pulling up my map here. All right. Okay. So does Sigrun have a preference wherein on the continent she wants to land? Is she trying to be dead center in the capital, to the north, south, east, west? Or...
Where's the largest number of her people being held? I would assume the capital.
Underneath the capital, yeah.
Yeah,
in
so
the,
as close
mines.
to the capital, because that's probably where we'd also would need to talk to nobility. So she's just gonna go there.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 sec just to pull up something real quickly. There we go. Okay. Alright, so as you begin to chant, or as you begin to activate the spell, give me a second, I'm just finding my town list here. Oh, do I not actually? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I just need to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Okay. Alright, so I'm looking at the wrong one. Alright. So as you lot teleport, you find yourselves in a very damp and dark cave. as you look about, it seems to have been set up with a small little fire. The walls seem to have been cleaned up a little bit. Some roots torn out of the wall. What looks to be a little basin for washing in one of the corners. But as you look around, the cave is extremely dark. From what you can tell, nothing seems to be going on. And as you recognize, Sigrun, this is the underneath the city of, or the city of Dominion, one of the major or noble houses of the Helly Lands, and is just about a day's travel north of the capital, where you spent most of your time away from the mines when you were trying to escape and get away. These caves specifically go into the Underdark's first couple floors as they go further down, but do, from what you could tell, eventually come out towards the Scrofe Lands. About a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks worth of walking to get there, not counting, assuming you're undisturbed in the Underdark. But yeah, this is where you spent the majority of your time as your base is set up. Yeah, some hay sat in one corner as you all look about, where obviously a bed was set up. And yeah, otherwise the cave looks to be pretty simple overall.
Okay. I feel like she'd convey a good majority of that info to the party, just like the important parts. Travel distance from the capital, connected to the Underdark, all that stuff.
What do I know about the city of Dominion?
You can give me a history check.
14.
Alright, so the majority of the city of Dominion, it's known as the City of Earth. It is led by a man named Paul of House Dominion, who is known for being a very large and very wide for for Helly. The city itself has a very massive ancient tree growing through the center of it that connects the floating city to the city on the main portion, on the mainland, where most of the commoners live at the bottom of the tree itself, while the nobles seem to live in the floating city that surrounds the tree. Most of those who inhabit amongst the Helly nobility of House Dominion do have very druidic tendencies, many of them having like wooden skin, looking more animalistic, stuff of that sort.
What house are they from?
What? The House of Dominion?
So the
Dominion is a city and a house name, yes.
Okay.
In common, it translates as House of Earth. That's legitimately a thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they're quite old. They're the third oldest house from what you would know. This is just basic facts. They were started, supposedly, some believe, they were started by a Helly who was raised in the wild by gnolls. No true accounts have ever been proven of this, but, you know, some believe it, as the depiction of the first leader of the House of Dominion is very wild-looking. But that's common for most noble houses.
Alright. So we gonna start some shit up here, or are we gonna go straight to the capital?
How many... Do they have, like, a large population of Scrofe here?
From what you found, the House of Dominion doesn't really do slavery. They're one of the few houses that really isn't big on it. Mostly because they can't afford it. While old, they're considered like about the 12th strongest amongst for the Scrofe's ranking amongst the Helly houses. Most of the Scrofe call them the tortoise house, as in they're very slow to act or do really anything other than sit there and eat.
Okay. Sigrun was gonna ask our Helly friend here if they'd be good to try to get as an ally, but if she is aware that they're not quick to act, they probably would not be useful in a war setting.
That's a fair
thought. They'd only be really good for holding their own city.
Yeah. I think that really they will not be helped with the magic or the war, and there is not really people of mine here to save. Unless you have other reasons to stop here, I say we just make way to the capital.
I don't have any reason to be here.
I agree. Let's keep moving.
From on Sigrun's back, I just go onwards.
Yeah, Sigrun would not have even probably noticed if you had climbed on or be bothered.
You know, actually, I do have a question, DM.
Yes.
What is Tyke Harris looking at, being a nightmare? Would his looks like? I mean, I know he's pretty much a big flaming horse, but is that going to be odd in the Hellylands?
No, it would be uncommon for someone to be riding it, but it's not an uncommon creature to find amongst the nobles. Nobles have a tendency to collect unique and rare monsters that they can bend to their will and show off to the other nobles to show their power. So most would probably just assume you're just some noble trying to show off. However, you do kind of look more Voli than you do Heli by most people's, by most of the Heli's beliefs. So that might be more of your problem personally.
Gotcha, because I kind of.
Yeah.
That's
an issue.
I do have a disguise kit, so I think I'll take a bit of time before we head out to make myself look a bit more Heli than Voli.
Is
disguising
someone a performance check?
It can be. It does.
Because I do have disguise kit proficiency.
Yeah.
As
So.
do.
I would make you. I will have you roll for it. The DC won't be high, seeing as the difference is would be covering up the tattoos, which you don't have, and then just changing your skin color.
Yeah. So what would be the roll?
Performance.
Performance.
Yep.
Plus proficiency.
Yes, correct.
Right. So we get the performance.
I would also like to do emboldening bond on all four of us.
So plus
Okay.
6 from the 19.
So
is
25?
pretty high. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as you start kind of painting yourself up and down for what's exposed, you manage to get the right coloring, and the rest of you look at him, and it looks like a Voli, or like a Heli rather, just without the wings.
Yeah. I've got a nice coat on, so the wings would have been hidden if I had any remaining. But
And then Lucius, remind me what emboldening bond does.
Any creature within 30 foot of another that has it once per turn can roll a d4 and add it to attack roll, ability check, or saving throw they make.
Ooh.
And then, actually, one of my recent level ups gave it something extra. Let me find that again. So when one of us affected by emboldening bond is about to take damage, a second bonded creature within 30 foot can use its reaction to teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 minutes of the first, and then take all the damage instead.
Okay, good to know. All right, so keep that in mind for for each of you. All right. So yeah, as Lucius begins to practice his blood arts, you see as the magic kind of starts to emblazon around you all, and you feel a lot more confident in yourselves for combat, ready to go. Yeah, you're standing around this cave as you guys finish up.
Right. By the way, quick question. House Uziel, or Uziel, however you pronounce it. How prominent are they in the capital?
In the capital?
Yeah. If that's where we're heading.
Give me a history check.
3, I guess, I don't know.
So based on the house's geography, you would assume there's not likely to be like a large portion of the house there. At most, they're going to have a representative, maybe a couple guards from the house, but it's not likely to have anybody that would notice you.
Okay, that's good. Alright. Yep, alright, so to the capital?
Yeah, Durali's gonna change her clothing to her old court mage outfit.
Oh. Okay. Alright. It's good to know.
So, I got nobody in that town that will, probably spot me, so I'm good on that aspect. Are we looking to go in, like, swords ablaze and free your people, or are we trying to take a more covert side to it?
I mean, I don't think we can go swords in charging. From what I recall, and what you've informed me, there are people of mine under mind control of some kind. If we run in, I assume we will just have to fight my people, which involves killing or injuring them, which is counterproductive.
Mhm.
I'd at least prefer to scout the place, get a read, maybe contact some of my people to see what's like going on, and then act upon it. It is. I think it's
So-
one of the situations that require a bit more subtlety.
So, Sigrun, if we're gonna do this covertly, then I'm gonna have to ask something of you that you're really not gonna like.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
I might need to have to ask you to act that you are
I mean,
my
the,
slave.
was it? Oh wait, you are not part of the. She like laughed. She like burst into laughing. I forgot you are not the group. Why? We Lucius would know. We had a plan for me to do that back before the stuff happened. If need be, I have no issue pretending to be a slave. The only concern is visually, I am fucking armed to the teeth.
See, that's gonna be the other thing. We're gonna have to, disarm you. Whether that's gonna be in Doral, like a bag of holding nearby where Dorali's hanging off you, so at a moment's notice you can get your items back. But
I mean,
the hell,
could-
if that's the case, the heli are probably gonna take the weapons off you, even
I
if I say you're like
could-
my slave guard.
I have my bag of holding I could put shit into, but unless someone else has the bag of holding, it's still on my person. But I mean, I feel like that is more if we need me to be in the shit to talk to people without it being obvious. If we're just stealthing on the outside to scout, I don't think
Yeah.
we
I
need
could- I
to
could-
risk it.
We'll try
But
I'm
to
gonna
it's-
see
be
if I
real,
can-
y'all. I got creaky joints. I'm not very sneaky
Healthy.
anymore.
Hmm. If you like it, we can have it be done. But
Lucius, are you able to control yourself when you are in that bear form? You're not like an uncontrollable
what does she
monster.
have in her?
For the most part,
For the most part, you're uncontrollable, or the most part, you're controllable.
I control it.
In? Alright,
When
so I-
things get real sticky, sometimes I see red.
How long can you stay in that form?
As thanks to my god, I guess, Kedlis, anytime I want.
So we could, in theory, have you as a pet.
I mean, maybe, but
Listen,
I don't-
listen,
Right.
I'm not gonna force
Right.
you
it's
to be.
not a full transformation.
I've
I don't look like a bear.
You'll
I
look like a werebear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that would really look like a noble showing off.
I mean, that would, wouldn't it? I mean, a giant warrior princess, a nightmare, and a werebear. And then Dorali as, like, my personal magic mage. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory.
Well-
Royce, I have a question.
Yo, what's up?
Just like a little logistics. I know it's in the character art, which I could pull up if need be. Sigrun has like her thick bear skin like skirt that has like the
Yes.
skulls and the bones on it.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible to stash the bag of holding like in the skull of the bear so it's out of sight,
Oh, easily.
but still on her person?
Oh,
Then you see Sigrun's like, as you've been just talking about this, she's just been like, she takes the bag of holding, inspects it, slowly puts in the skull, and is like, I figured it out.
So Lucius, I guess you'll be just in a similar position as Sigrun and
Well,
Raleigh. I guess
anybody have a bag of holding they can load me, because mine's gone.
Hmm.
I don't even think I have one.
The best I have is the sapphire that has a bag of dreadnought in it.
That's
When
the
it's
funky
broken.
dreadnought one, right? Or was that a different one?
I was the man who gave it to me. Who I still don't know if he was good or evil or what, but he just told me it was a bag of dreadnought, and if I broke the crystal, it would come out.
While you guys are having this conversation, you start hearing joints and things cracking, and next time you look
Alright.
over, I am just... I am hybrid form.
The
Ah.
Werebear Kung Fu Panda returns.
You know, we don't
Alright,
have
Bo.
to take off Lucius's stuff if I just ride on his shoulder like he's my mount.
To be fair, hang on. To be fair, I don't really need my weapon.
Yep, fair play.
Alright, so Durali, you can be on whichever person. If we play this right, I'll just look like a big showy off noble. That's not uncommon amongst the nobles. We could probably enter under the guise that I'm gonna look to buy more slaves. And worst case scenario, I might have to buy the slaves if we don't find a
I
way
mean,
to turn off the mind control.
I have probably the funds on me to buy them. I'd prefer not to give them that money, but if we need to at least get them out before we can do any fighting, I should have enough funds.
Alright, well, yeah, I'll see if we can.
Oh,
We'll
you
see
know,
if we-
DM's made a good point.
What?
What did he type?
Lucius is wearing a Fire Crest emblem.
Oh, maybe is it even in his bear form? Maybe.
Yes.
I
Yeah, it still
captured
shows.
this. I captured this one. It was around the time when Hawkins Kingdom went like tits up for that second, and found him wandering, kind of captured him. I don't know how to get that emblem off though.
It's part of my armor, if I remember
I
correctly.
would like
Yeah.
to walk. I mean, if I use the disguise kit, I could cover the emblem, no?
I mean, we do have the disguise kit.
You could normally. Unfortunately, due to Hawking, it won't work.
I was saying, could I not put a different emblem on top of it and just kind of?
It will burn through. The House of Firecrest, when Hawken had his thing set up to make Lucius his basically his heir at the time, the emblem became part of his armor permanent. You can't cover
Nice,
it.
very cool.
It is a magical piece that is stuck there, so he can Lucius can fully remove it if he wishes to, but it's there unless he takes it off.
Yeah, we'll just go under that. Lucius is a captured Firecrest refugee or whatever.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
spoil
might draw attention, but it also could work in our favor.
ride
because it
on
gives
a
them.
nightmare.
Sigrun,
Okay,
can you
but,
put this in
you
your
know-
bag for me? And I hold out the toothless beholder. Morningstar.
Yes, of course. She'll take it and put it in her bag. I guess she also would be putting her weapons in the bag right now. Not like her basic ones, but like her pickaxe, her axe, her great axe.
Alright.
I'd like to walk up to Lucius and put my arms up like I want to be picked up.
I'll just grab both arms with one hand and sling them over my shoulder.
As you
Yeah, no-
Durali, you kind of get slammed into into Lucius' shoulder, not intentionally, but as it doesn't seem Lucius is used to having someone ride him. It's not pleasant as he kind of throws you over his shoulder.
I'm small enough. I'm just gonna sit on his shoulder. I'm gonna position myself. It's gonna be great.
Okay. As you now stand, Vormorn, with the rest of your party.
I guess we'll make our way to town.
All right. And you guys are heading towards the capital, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you exit the cave, you come out on the other side of what looks to be a large river that seems to kind of flow through all the way to the other side of the continent. Now realizing where the leakiness was coming from, that Sigrun had set up her base right underneath this major river. You all kind of come out to very gorgeous forest full of what looks to be trees that are glowing a slight blue, different like vegetation growing. No creatures about that you all can see, and as there's very little shrubbery on the ground besides the very skinny trees that like most of their canopy is at the very top of them, not having many limbs lower down. You can see for miles, allowing you all to see about, not getting a rough estimate, but far enough that it would take you probably at least a day's travel south before you can reach the capital, that you can kind of see sticking out over the canopy slightly. It looks like it's kind of flipped on its side, or maybe it looks like it's or somewhat of a mountain kind of sticking up out of the ground. Kind of hard to tell from this distance.
During the travel, at some point, I'm just going to break the silence. Vormorn, how are you going to pay for slaves if you have to?
Well, you see, here's a trick. I tell my air quote slave, Sigrun, to pull out the money that she's holding for me.
So you use our money again? I see.
Or we can just let Sigrun's people live in slavery forever. Lucius, if that's
I mean,
what you'd rather have.
I think
I
then
know-
the better thing is we would just kill and liberate them with blood.
Listen, if they're bad people, sure. But if they're just people who are forced to work or need this job to survive, I ain't comfortable with, killing those
Mm.
folk.
You're not planning to sell us for money, are you?
I don't intend on it. I intend on buying slaves, not selling any.
I intend to
Excuse my
liberate my
southern
people.
plantation owner accent. That might confuse you.
What is a plantation and what is
Don't worry
southern?
about it. That's a joke from another universe.
As you lot are heading through this forest, not near any roads that you can see, there are no pathways along the way. As you're traveling, you all can clearly see a small group of what looks to be 4 people, all with cloaks over their heads, looking to be roughly about 5 foot to 5'5", ranging amongst the 4 of them. Very kind of grayish skin, from what you can kind of pick up from their hands that are uncovered. However, their heads are all cloaked and seem to be leaning over as if they're looking at the ground, walking towards you. One of them you do notice seems to be carrying a strange-looking piece of like gold, like a necklace of sorts that has an emblem on it of a simple, what looks to be a tree being cut down from this distance. Vormorn, give me a history check to see if you recognize this. Same with you, Sigrun.
Do I have
History you said?
Correct.
Do I have
Don't forget
With
you have a D4
Just
as
a
well.
normal one or with advantage?
That's right, I do have the D4.
You have a D4 extra. That's all you got, Sigrun.
Yeah, that's a total of 12.
Okay.
Total
For
17.
Vormorn, you know there's a ton of minor houses around here that don't ever get noted by anyone. This could be one of them, but you don't recognize it as one of the big house sigils. Sigrun, you recognize this as House Twerb. Legitimately, in common, it translates to axe cutter. A house famously known for managing to take on 2 heli houses above their weight class, trying to pick a fight with House of Seraphim and Jehoshaphat. I'm not going to try and pronounce that more than once. Or Jehoshaphat, sorry. Both the 2 top houses of the Heli lands, or at least that's what most believe. They didn't lose, but they didn't win. They were reduced pretty heartily, but they do still hold some small lands and are one of the major suppliers of magical staffs to most of the Heli Nation.
Gotcha.
Got
Kind of like, so they're kind of like the Foresters from Game of Thrones kind of deal.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
Very similar.
Woodsman House.
A little bit more destructive, but yeah, pretty similar.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they just seem to be heading your guys' general direction as all four of them. They don't look to be carrying any weapons, just simple blackened cloaks, that look to be covering them, and then the one, about 5-foot-ish, figure that seems to be wearing, the emblem on their neck.
I'm just gonna, pay them no mind. Except maybe even if they nod, I'll nod back.
Sigrun's just like looking. She's like summoning kind of her like soldier demeanor from long ago, just like looking ahead, marching forward, like following along, just to seem to kind of like play into this act that she is a slave to him.
Okay.
I'm just
But not-
bobbing along
not-
at this
not
point.
like-
I am just Durali's mount.
Okay.
Yeah, she is looking imposing though. Like she is up straight. She is walking with power. Like she does not look weak, but she at least looks to be following.
Okay.
Is her
Doralia
goal.
very vainly looking at her claws, like inspecting them.
All right. As the four figures come to a stop, about roughly 40 feet in front of you, the main one seeming to carry a necklace around, carrying the sigil around their neck, on a necklace, kind of takes off their hood, and you see this very bright auburn mohawk sticking straight up, massive in its design, and filled with gaudy jewelry and rings, gems, all sorts, bright brown eyes, and very smooth skin. She's young, from what you can tell, maybe at oldest like a late teenager, as she kind of locks eyes with Vormorn and Durali. She kind of looks at both of you back and forth and goes, "Are you here for a reason? We don't get many travelers around these parts."
I'm heading to the capital, so maybe purchase some fine slaves.
You speak as if you're a commoner. Are you common birth? No magic?
I've had to work my way up a bit, made some deals here and there, made some friends in high places.
She looks at you for a second, and she kind of nods and goes, "Huh. Didn't expect any lot traveling through here, especially with a Scrofe. These roads have been dangerous these last couple of months, ever since the capital collapsed on itself. Or past couple weeks rather. Fair enough. Be careful out there, young traveler. Scrofe have been known to be very violent when it comes to being alone with their masters, so my advice, one heli to another."
That's my kind of you, man. I'll tip my hat.
All right. As you tip your hat, she kind of nods and puts her hood back on and continues walking with the rest of their group as they kind of give you all a wide berth. All right. They continue on, disappearing into the horizon far to the north. As you lot continue traveling a southwestern direction, another half day eaten up as the travel dissipates, you come to a city in ruins. The capital looks to have been turned on its side. Strange blue roots sticking out of the southern portion of what was the platform that the city floated on. The buildings all in ruin. The palace looks to have been kind of almost like it's completely fallen over, and then they've just tried to rebuild it from what it was, from the being on its side, and connecting it onto the ground. The mines look to have been completely basically closed off, minus the one in and out tunnel as you all can kind of come, or as you are coming towards. What looks to be the city itself fell onto the mines, and basically covered the top of it, making it so slaves couldn't easily get out. You see that there are a lot of guards walking around the mine entrance off to the distance, about a mile south of you. But as you come to the city, it seems to be Most of it rebuilding, the sounds of hammering, sawing, magic kind of flurrying around as building and construction equipment kind of floats about the city. People seem to be in a rush, but also very active in general as things are going on. The guards not really paying attention to you lot, as there aren't even walls at this point built around the collapsed city. It's just an open village that has been set up with a couple of nice manors and stuff being built. And both commoners and nobility working together from what you can tell, Vormorn, as you look about. But as you all come to the city, being an open thing, you see a large market off to the north of this northern portion of the city, the nobleman district further into the central portion, the southern mines, and then what is called what you would know, Vormorn, as the research district that should be on the same side as where you're entering, as you see a couple of buildings with giant glass domes over them and strange metallic objects sticking out of them. You'd recognize this pretty heavily given your time in the with your family, as this is probably the research portion, which is both arguably the most dangerous for commoners, but also probably the safest place for nobility. As it's not uncommon for heli scientists to grab a commoner off the road and just lock them up and start experimenting on them.
Yep. Good memories. Good memories. You know what, Dale, I'm just gonna have to ask, would I be familiar with this place because could this have possibly been one of a potential place that I might have been, turned into what I currently am?
No, that would have been back home.
No?
You've traveled here plenty of times with your family, as it is part of a debut thing upon becoming Yes, I know.
Okay.
You would have traveled here based on your debut, for when you came of age to be married amongst your house, because even being lower rank, you would have traveled here. It is also very common for almost all nobles to make an annual trip to the capital. So you are familiar enough with the layout of this city, or what it was at least, before it got destroyed, that you feel confident you can get yourself around the area if you need to.
Okay, let's go take a look at the market, see if they're selling any folk there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we'll do first. See if we can get any information about Scrofe.
Okay. As you all head into the city itself, a couple of guards eyeing you up, but none of them seem to say anything, as they seem to look towards Vormorn and Durali, kind of ignoring Lucius and Sigrun for the most part, other than eyeing you up and down. You feel like you're being given a value, or looked upon to see if you have any value as slaves, Sigrun and Lucius, but none of the guards or any of the commoners seem to make any move towards you. As you are walking through the streets, a couple of commoner children kind of playing in the road, messing around with sticks and poking at a bug the size of a small dog that seems to be very similar to almost like a beetle that they continue messing with as they're joking about. As they continue on, you see a couple of Scrofe that are in full chains that just look bad. They these dark-furred creatures that some of them look to have once towered over Sigrun, now bent over, broken, many patches of fur missing, scars and fresh cuts all over, massive bindings that you can see on their arms that look to be made of Oventium itself, as well as chokers around their neck that you can see magical runes drawn on. They seem to be being led through the city carrying massive amounts of weight in boxes and crates as they're walked around. These, from what you can tell, look to be the best off Vormorn. From your experience with slaves, these probably got the best jobs of the ones sent to the mines. So as you see this, you start to you start to note it or think that most likely the Scrofe that are in the mines are not going to be in fighting shape. As you've seen those mines, they kill the slaves are worked to death. There's no rest, there's no sleep. It's you work till you die, and then you're replaced by whoever's next in line. But as you guys continue walking through, you see more and more common slaves of all different races: Tritons, Sea Elves, Hill Dwarves, Nords, Gnolls, Goblins, Dragonborns, all sorts of creatures, and some monsters in some cases that look to have been completely banded up. Vormorn, give me a charisma check, just in general.
That'll be a 22.
Okay. And then Durali, same thing.
Now
Yes.
I do have a question. Are all of these like
7,
being
okay.
sold by different people, or is it like a single house that has all of these slaves like being like around?
The few that you see around look to mostly be. I saw Durali. You're good. Lucky that you good idea. Most of the slaves look to be marked. At least the Scrofe seem to be marked in one of 2 houses.
Don't forget your D4.
That's true. You do have an extra
Oh, yeah.
D4.
You know, let me make it even higher.
Yeah. You do notice the 2 majority marks are the House of Jehoshaphat, with their golden and red yin and yang symbol, as well as House Seraphim with their snake coiling a lightning bolt sigil on marking most of the slaves in this area. As you lot are walking about, Vormorn, while you don't seem to stick out, and much of the city is comfortable for you, to be honest, well, it's uneasy. That was pretty much your day-to-day anytime you came to the capital. That was normal for someone of your rank. You were looked down by the nobles, and you were kind of looked down on by the commoners as being too high-ranked. No one wanted to deal with you. In a sense, so you're used to the kind of uneasiness of the city. Durali, you do start to notice the gazes are definitely, people are starting to stare a lot more. There's more commoners and those amongst the guard that seem to kind of watch you a lot more carefully.
That's fine.
Okay. But as you finally make it to the market district, you see a hobbled together, what looks to be a couple of different stone platforms that have been set out, like almost as if they are stages, as slaves of all races are being kind of shown off. You see young nobles and representatives of the different noble houses kind of mixing amongst the crowd as auctions are being shouted out. You see a couple of stalls for like regular goods, food, day-to-day items such as lumber to keep your house warm and such like that, but you don't see any like magic items, normal shops. This is very much, this is a slave market, almost 100%. It's much more crudely built than the one you remember in the capital, on the floating capital, as that one was ornate, like everything else well designed. Everything here looks very hobbled together quickly with magic, but still with a professionalness that is the heli. But as you kind of see that they're mostly right now, the 2 predominant slavers seem to both be shouting out and showing off the local sea elves that they had caught and a couple of deer co. You do see a single Scrofe who looks to be completely torn up in line waiting to go and like be sold off. He's fully chained up from what you can tell. Sigrun, give me a history check to see if you recognize this person.
Will do. Well, I'll still add that 4. All right. So I got a 3 on the 4 die, so a 4 total. I got a nat 1. Sigrun's
Lucius!
too fucking pissed to think.
Lucius, give me a history check. See if you recognize this person.
All right. Is it
Sigrun's-
Fey Fiend or Undead?
No.
No.
Sigrun's using all her mental energy to not rage right now.
11.
Yeah, so Lucius, you roughly remember a druid, Scrofe, you and the party had ran into a while back before Hawken became king, named Alwar.
Oh,
Mhm.
The very angry, very irritated, druidic Scrofe, who last you saw, I believe, was in the Nordlands when you ran into him. He was waiting at a tavern and started picking a fight.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah. As you see, he is in chains and looks badly brutalized. He's missing one of his tusks. His nose looks like it has a tear taken out of it by a bite. As you can kind of see, fresh teeth from this distance, teeth marks on the healed wound, and there's just pieces of him missing. No items, no gear, nothing. But for what you can remember, he's fully just in the nude. But he looks rough.
All right, Sigrun. How do you feel on buying that how do you feel about we using some cash to get that Scrofe? They might have some information we could use to break your folk out.
I recognize that Scrofe. He is. He
I'll,
may be helpful.
Mention his name.
As you say, Alwer, as you all are kind of walking towards that direction.
All right, so I know I didn't really want to buy any folk because, you know, that's not really that nice. But I don't see a way that we could effectively get.
Yeah, how many helis, mainly like guards, like are there in the area? Sigrun is like looking around.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah, she's like trying to fuel her anger into like battle strategy. She's like taking a look around, trying to count the numbers, count the all that good stuff.
Hmm?
So that is okay. I'll add the D4 to this. That I'm gonna need to re-roll that one. That wasn't good. Okay, so that was a 14 plus 7 is, I believe, a 21 plus 2, 23.
As you look about, you kind of just not moving your head as Vormorn's kind of lonely whispering, just kind of as you all watching the trade go on, as the clothes on the slaves currently up on the stages are finished off. You hear around 5 million gold pieces for one of them and around 10 million gold pieces for another. You count, Sigrun, as you look about roughly 80 that you can see of heavily armed guards that are pretty clearly wearing magical gear. None of them seem to be wearing anything lower than a +2 plate. From what you can tell. These are not your common heli. These are very well armed soldiers.
Yeah. And do I get the impression also that this is all their numbers, or do I have reason to believe, like watching how they're guarding, watching the routes, that they have like backup in other places?
Being a Scrofe and knowing what you do about heli, there's no way this amount of guards is enough in case of a riot. There's been history of slave riots. Heli are not the type to be easy on security. What if you can't see them? That's more concerning.
Yeah, okay. So she's gonna like take this into account and then would like speak, but doing her best to do so like quietly. Well, actually, what languages do you know, my good heli friend? We've spent some time traveling.
You know Celestial or Common? Because those languages I speak.
You don't know anything else? How do I know more? I have like a -1 intelligence. Okay.
Because I don't have the backgrounds that give me more.
She would just like whisper then, turning to face like Vormorn, so it's clear that she's like speaking to him, and also to try to like conceal her face from any guards, would just like go, I hate to have to do this, but there's 80 visible guards and likely at least a couple dozen more on standby or hidden. Until we have some Scrofe who can help us with a breakout, we will have to buy some.
You don't have to finish that sentence. You don't want anybody.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
You.
I say we get, if we can, stronger ones, but injured ones I can heal.
So I'm gonna tell you this right now, Sigrun. I'm going to continue acting the way I'm going to act in front of this Scrofe, because I feel he might be more trusting to speak to you if he thinks I'm a bad guy.
As long as we are within any eye or earshot of the guards, you must behave like an asshole. She says this with a very serious face, but you get a sense there's a little bit of her humor there, but it's still it is very serious. Like, she's telling you, do not drop the act while we're here.
All right. Just be ready for it.
Alright, we're going to let's walk up to see let's buy a slave.
Alright.
don't get banned.
As you start
least
pushing
they're
into
couple.
as you kind of start heading towards the crowd, a guard kind of immediately stops you, wearing very gaudy armor that has different golden inlays, magical enchantments, a very bright sword on his hip that he's predominantly showing. You can tell it's a showpiece. It's definitely not a combat piece for what he's actually going to use. But as he kind of stops you, Vormorn, he looks at you and goes, "All right, are you looking to join the slaving or the slave purchasing?"
Well, yes, I'm very much interested in purchasing one
All
of
right,
the
you don't
slaves
gotta have the
today.
attitude. I don't care enough for you noble types. All right. I'm gonna give you a paddle. You raise it at the end. Any money you need to pay, you'll pay at the very end. Your slave will be available within a day after processing. Have you ever done this before? Or do I have to explain it to you?
Oh, I've done it multiple times before. Don't worry
Perfect.
about it.
God, you really have one of those southern atrocious accents. Ugh. All right. I see you've got a scrofe, a werebear. Is the tabaxi your slave or a compatriot?
She's a compatriot of mine.
All right. Not a problem. Last thing I'm gonna need is the name of the two non-slaves. So your name and the tabaxi's.
Well, I am Galder, and
Okay.
that is Durali.
All right. Wait, Durali? Are
Hmm?
you a famous wizard from the Tabaxi Court?
I was.
Huh. Well, he closed his book. Welcome to doing business with us. Our liege has stated that if you are ever in town, he would like to speak with you at some point. So if you wouldn't mind, miss, I will inform him and let him know you're in town. Are you willing to speak? It's one of the members of nobility. He's a member of House Oleron.
Yes, of course.
Perfect. He nods and goes, "All right." And he closes his little book and hands Vormorn a little paddle that says 166 on it. And he goes, "Enjoy your time here. Don't buy if you can't pay for the slave. They'll put on market, and you'll just be banned from the market for the next few days. No major anything. Cause any incidents like a slave revolt, you'll be killed on sight. Note that while you're in the market, that paddle acts as an instant death spell. It will kill everyone associated with it, which means your entire party if you decide to do something against the law." Yeah. And he goes, I've read everything I was required, and he turns around and continues on.
So who else didn't hear a quarter of that?
Yeah,
It was
I
just
couldn't
a
tell
lot
if
of-
I cut out or if he did.
Hunter, it was just a lot of don't break the law or we're gonna be killed.
Understood.
Yeah, he looks at you and goes, yeah, so it's for, in reference, that paddle right there, it's an instant death spell. Basically, your party will be killed if, you try to do a slave revolt or anything like that. It breaks our laws, and then as far as it goes, if you can't pay for any slaves you purchase, you'll be banned for a few days afterwards, and basically kicked out, that's it. Everything understood.
Oh, why, yes, sir. I understand.
He nods and goes, "Perfect. I don't want to have to bother you lot again. So if you may, continue on your way. Enjoy yourselves." He looks about and goes, "And I will make sure to contact my liege for you momentarily, Durali." And he kind of turns and he starts yelling orders in Celestial to his men to start to go inform the master.
Durali, can you please take the Scrofe to get some more money out of the bank? Seeing that these slaves go a bit more than we might have brought with us on hand. Would you be so kind?
Durali will just nod, and I guess I'll go looking for a bank.
Scrofe, go with Durali.
Sigrun just nods and she will say in giant, in the Scrofe tongue, just yes.
Yes,
Just like-
whatever. Peasants.
No, she's saying it in giant, she's making it seem like she either can't speak or doesn't understand common. She's trying to make it seem
No.
like she's just dumb, just like nodding to whatever you say.
Sigrun, roll a performance check.
Yeah. Do I get advantage because I am stupid?
Sure, why not?
Hell yeah. It's easy to play dumb when you are dumb. Okay, so that was I'm gonna roll the d4. So 17 plus 2, 19.
All right. Yeah. As you kind of start to speak in giant, you speak really slowly, and come off as if you're trying to speak common, but it's just not coming through.
Yeah.
The guards kind of eyeing you, kind of start to ignore you, as you state this, and continue to go back to watching the rest of the crowd.
Hell yeah. And then I suppose she'll go with Durali. I am concerned though if the bank is run by Helly. Durali, you might have to present the ring, Zarius ring, to get the money.
I was just say, I'm moving over to your shoulder. If you want to hand me whatever I need right now, that's fine.
Yeah, would it? I'm wondering, giving you the signet ring would probably raise alarms. So if you would just like take the necklace from her neck to display.
I was saying, I'll just hold it up. Like, from your neck, I'll grab the emblem and hold it up.
That's true, because if I'm a captured slave, then it would be like, my
Yeah, and I'm on
assets
your
are now
shoulder.
yours. Okay, good, cool. Yeah,
I made an
you
arm
would
bridge
climb-
for you, by the way, from my shoulder
Yeah.
to Sigrun's.
Yeah, Sigrid just like lets it happen, both because she's cool with this and also because, gotta keep up the act. So you just climb her on and she walks where you point, wherever you direct her.
Yeah, and then my final words will be to Lucius. Be good for the boss, all right, Lou? And then we'll walk off.
All right.
Good for the boss.
As,
Oh, no, you're
I
so
will roar at him and bear just soul.
one of the guards turns to Vormor and goes, "Keep your werebear down there. People are not comfortable with them growling."
My apologies, sir. Lou, can you please keep it down for me? These people don't understand. You're so dreadful, you can be.
I'm going to shoot him just the dirtiest look.
I thought you were
Keep
gonna
looking
shoot-
like that and
Fair,
you'll not
Scout.
get supper.
We're gonna come back to Vormorn and Lucius in a moment. Durali and Sigrun, as you start to
Yes.
head out of the market, one of the guard captain again stops you and looks at both of you and goes, "Where are you heading?"
If there's a bank nearby.
Bank of Zarius?
Yep.
Yeah, just
Sigrun
down the
just
street,
stares blankly.
2 blocks to the right. It's really hard to miss. Big black building with Zarius' picture on it. He made real
Yep.
sure to make sure the hell he knew who it belonged to.
Yeah, got it. Thank you very much.
He
As he
nods.
finishes speaking, Sigrid just does that very blank nodding and giant, like, yes, yes. Like the same she did earlier. No expression, just like, yes.
As you two start heading through the streets, a few people kind of take note. Again, Durali and Sigrun, Sigrun doesn't really stick out. Durali, you definitely do, being both a short tabaxi, also, as most Helly don't know what Fellas are. On top of that, the fact is that you're riding on a Scarface shoulder, which means you're most would assume you're high-ranking nobility.
Yeah.
You won't even touch
And
the ground.
compared to the other slaves, Sigrun is in impeccable shape,
Yes.
so that's also like a status
To be
thing.
fair, where I'm from, I am one of the highest.
Yep.
Yeah, so
But as you both kind of continue down, people continuing to stare. None of the guards give you any hassle as they just kind of look on, watching to see if you cause any disturbance. You start to get kind of a sense that most of them don't want to deal with problems at this point. That's what the hope is.
Yeah.
As their capital already kind of collapsed. What's up, Sigrun?
I was gonna say I also would not want to deal with Sigrun, given just Sigrun.
There you go. But as you guys come around the corner, as the two of you come around the corner, walking down the street, you see the very large building that stands taller than even the palace they've been building. It looks like it's only like a couple of inches taller, maybe like 2 brick layers taller than the palace itself. And you see a big painting of Zarius on the top of it that's set right above it where it says Bank of Zarius.
Mhm.
As you kind of start heading towards the stairs themselves, seem to magically begin to lift you up and move you towards the door as it stops you from walking. This giant black building with huge pillars of artistic designs of dwarves dealing and mining out coin and gems. Heading in, the marble flooring, you see dwarves, elves, Voli, Heli, all sorts of creatures, different races walking about. And one of the younger-looking Heli representatives wearing a very nice suit seems to come walking over and looks at you and goes, "Oh, we don't practice slavery here. You're welcome to drop the act. Welcome, Sigrun, Bjorn Neklo, and Durali."
I was wondering how I was going to do this while being stupid. Ugh.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still not moving. She's really comfortable.
No, you are free to stay. Sigrun will less rigid, less in that soldier forced walk. Will just casually approach and be like, yes, my party's financial bind. I need to withdraw money from my account if that's all right. And shows off the necklace.
Oh, of course, we are happy to help you, Sigrun. Unfortunately, we are having a little bit of gold issues. We don't have enough to provide much. It seems that the founder has vanished, and no one's really sure where he went. And due to that, we don't have access to his vault, where the entirety of the Zari's clan's gold is backed by. So due to this, we can't pull much. We have around 10,000 gold pieces available that you can take. That's pretty much our limit right now.
Is there other coin pieces available?
That's all of our coin that we currently have available.
Do you? I don't know how much of the market in the heli work, but do you have magic items that they would accept?
We can give you a notice of value. Basically, it's a piece of paper that claims the value of whatever you're spending it on. The person you would be paying this to would be able to show up once the number has been filled out on it and basically use that to collect. It's a new system we're working on, though we don't. Many are not yet accustomed to it. However, it's taking off on the Helilands.
DM, I have 2 questions.
Yo, what's up?
1, how easy is it to track someone if you use their own body part as part of the scrying spell?
Extremely. Assuming it's theirs.
Yeah, that's the point I was about to make. I mean, if we have their finger, they could probably find it.
If Durali's like, hey, can I see the finger or ring? That Sigrun's gonna like.
Can I see the box?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna hold it to the guy. So, we got this recently. It's not a thing most people want to see, but you could probably find him with it.
The female Heli kind of looks at the box for a minute and looks at the finger and goes, why do you have a Nord finger?
Did they send us a Nord finger saying it was ours?
That would be funny. The ring looks legit, but I've also not seen the ring enough to know.
The ring's a fake. The gem in it is not cut properly. That's
Anyway, we got a note claiming he was kidnapped by a guy we met not long ago.
Yes.
She goes, what was the gentleman's name? Do you happen to know?
They went by, I think they all went by Bahadu.
She just blankly looks at you and goes, oh.
I can draw the mask if you'd like that they all wore.
As in Bahadu, the leader of the assassin order known as the Order of the Owls?
That would probably be him, yeah.
Wait, he's the leader of an assassin? I just thought he was a powerful guy who was a dick.
Yes, a woman named Zaya Silversong had a dealing with him at some point. You may be familiar with her as the cousin and previous god. She had met him in her his organization in her travels and almost got wiped out by 2 of their members.
I'll tell you now, there's more than one Bahadu. There's multiple that were the same mask and claim to be the same name.
Oh, that's normal amongst the order. All higher-ranking members claim the same name and title. It's a title more than anything. We're not sure where the original gentleman is, but anybody who goes against the order seems to disappear, as we found. Okay. And she goes, I have to report that to management. That's going to be a fun conversation.
My second question, what were the royal colors of the noble family of the Tabaxi ones?
They traditionally it was more based on their clan. So it was based on whatever clan they came from. In the case of Dibus and Dibus Junior, they both
Yeah,
came
right.
from the. Give me a moment to pull up the clan.
So they were the ones I worked for. So technically, I would wear their colors when I was under them.
Yeah, one minute.
I'm making her little royal hero forge, and I realized they just added a thing called Royal Raiment, which is perfect, like a royal outfit.
Mm. Let's see. I'm just trying to find the clan name. Give me a second. So other than well, you would have been part of the same family because due to your own position. Give me a second. I gotta find the name or the race real quick. Name. Oh, you wait. Which color are you, Durali?
Black fur.
Oh, okay. So you're not. Yes. So, from what you know, the royal family that was known to be ruling over everything. Yes. Let me find. The Gogwahan, the rarest of the all of the Fells clans. They are considered what is called the noble leadership in Common clan. And they're the family. So it would be their bright red colored paw mark on a simple white background.
So white and red.
Yeah, basically.
Because I am a noble leadership fellas. I probably didn't pick the right colors for this, but
Yeah, it would be Gogwin.
Okay.
Black are known amongst the Fellas as the unlucky, also called the Bulgahan.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So as you are saying, the female Heli continues and goes. So would you like the 10,000 gold pieces that I can offer?
Sigrun looks at Durali and is like, "Do you think it would be smarter to get the 10,000 physical gold pieces, or, given some of the prices, should we get the paper with a higher amount?"
The paper would be smarter. I don't think 10,000 is going to make much of a difference in that.
Yeah, how much were they going for again? Like a million or
Millions.
so?
9 to 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
9 to 10 million per Scrofe?
Per
Well,
slave.
for slave, remember that one slave that went for like 10 million?
Yeah, Sea Elf and a Triton were the two you saw go up.
Well, yeah. What were the Scrofe ones going
You
for?
did-
Notably
you
the ones
didn't
in.
see.
You walked away before they started auctioning off Alwar.
I don't want to pull 10 million or like offer that to them, but like 2 million probably seems reasonable. Yeah, so Sigrun will think it is like kind of on her hands, like that seems like a lot. Can you do the receipt, the value thing for like 2 million?
She looks and goes, yeah, with your current available funds, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yes, that would be great then.
She nods and goes and starts writing up a banknote and comes back out a few minutes later and hands it to you and goes, that should do you well. I've put the sigil of the management branch here, so any merchant that does business with us should recognize it and accept it.
Yes, good, good. I am very glad. And she like offered to Durali to hold
Yeah.
before we go outside. Well, it is a pleasure to speak to pleasant people. I must go and speak to unpleasant people now.
She kind of bows and she looks up at you. She goes, thank you for doing business with us. We hope you come again.
Yes, I will. And she'll like enter that like previous stance and just like march out the door.
All right. In the meantime, Vormorn and Lucius, as you're in this area or in the slavers market, you watch as the other stand without that didn't have any scrofe now auctioning off a Nord goes for 2,000 gold pieces. What looks to be a very young male Nord who doesn't have enough meat on his bones. As one of the minor nobles seems to pick him up pretty quickly, as no one seems to fight for him. But yeah, as they continue on, you do notice, Vormorn, the scrofe that Sigrun and you and the rest of the party were looking at is eyeing Lucius like no other.
Oh, dear Lou. It seems You have a secret admirer amongst the slaves. Perhaps I will pick him up as a playmate for you.
Lucius, apparently dead silence continues.
Listen, I understand.
Oh yeah, this is on purpose.
Yeah, I know, I got you.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, brother. It's perfectly fine.
As you're saying this, you hear as Alwar kind of climbs up, and the guy starts going. And he goes, "All right, do I hear 2 million? We're starting the auction off for this Scrofate Druid. He can heal and regenerate wounds. Not his own body though. He's in good acting shape, and besides being a little bit stubborn and still needing to be broken in, he does have the capabilities to cast high and powerful magic. Thus valuing him at a higher rate." Do I hear 2 million gold pieces? As he looks about the crowd, and you see people's paddles start shooting up. He continues on as the bidding continues. It gets hot going on. About halfway through this bidding, it hits around 25 million, and you hear Alwar shout out. He goes, "Lucius, save me, you asshole! I can tell it's you!" And the entire slaver market goes dead silent as everyone just kind of turns and looks towards you lot.
Oh dear Lou, do you know this person?
Lucius on mute, give him a minute.
The bear stares forward silently.
He'll just say nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry, you dumb slave. It appears you're mistaken. How about you go silent?
Fuck, I know that's you, Lucius. God damn it, you better buy me, I swear to fucking Christ. I will end you and that damn woman you traveled with.
You know, DM, I definitely was gonna start bidding, but now 25 million? I don't know, Chief.
People kind of looking about, looking at you, looking back at Al. The guy, the announcer, continues.
You take control of your slaves! What kind of business do you operate?
Yes, my apologies. Continuing on the bit, and they start going again. As Alwar is suddenly, you see a binding is brought and wrapped around his mouth as he starts muffling and yelling, into it, trying to yell but not being able to open his mouth.
My dear Lou, my pockets are not deep enough for this.
As you are saying this, Vormorn, you notice some woman is coming towards you. You recognize this woman pretty easily, as she is the head of your house.
Fuck you.
She is walking over. You recognize Levi, about 75 years of age. For those wondering, she's pretty young for her race. Most would consider almost a child, from considering. Give me a second, please. Let me check to make sure it's yeah. And as she kind of comes walking over, wearing her greenish, bright greenish dress that very, very tight clothed, ornate gems and necklaces all over her, little doodads of gold and gemstones covering throughout the dress, creating little patterns of the House of Animals design of a bear with holding a whip, all emblazoned along the dress. You notice, though, Vormorn, that she is wearing a necklace of that has the red and gold yin-yang symbol as well, which means she is wearing another house's sigil, which to you, you'd recognize that is the closest thing to a marriage proposal that you can get amongst the nobility. It is a way of a male Heli claiming a female Heli as theirs.
So essentially, the head of the House of Animals is about to not be the head, or that the house is about to be absorbed into another house.
Is about to be married into. So that would mean that from your experience with it, there are no other members of the house. She is the last one. So if she marries into the House Jehoshaphat, she will officially no longer be. There will no longer be a House of Uziel. As she comes sauntering up towards you, smiling with her long brownish hair kind of all tied up with little gold inlays, kind of holding it together in a braid, as she comes over to you and just gives a smile.
I'll dismount. I'll get off my high horse, as you'd say.
As you climb down, this 5'4" female with very large wings on her back that are kind of tied into her, or kind of closed off behind the dress. She just kind of smiles as you get down and goes, "Well, if it isn't the cat, the mouse being dragged by the cat, I thought you were dead, along with that stupid horse of yours."
Well, I might as well have been dead, my fair maiden.
That's true. You're pretty much worthless to us. No magic, no capabilities, and now the best you could manage to get for a slave is a werebear with a House of Firecrest? I mean, what? Is this supposed to be Hawkins' heir or something like that?
Of course not. You think someone as lowly as I could acquire such a person?
She looks at you and goes, "Well, I don't believe you could acquire him, but as I can clearly see that there's no chains on him and no markings, and as I know you don't have magic, it's obvious he's not a slave and you're here for something nefarious. I'm going to be honest, dear cousin. I don't really care. You could kill the entirety of the people here for all I give a damn.
Yeah, no,
I want your word, as I know you're a noble man. You're a man of your word at the very least. You are not here to bother my betrothed, or me, or any members of our house."
Aren't you the only member of the house left?
That is, regardless of that point, do I have your word, or shall I start something here? More than happy to get the guards' attention if need be.
My dear cousin, is it okay if we talk in private without the prying eyes?
No! You'll murder me! Do I look stupid? I may be the last of our house, but as my father was continuously had attempted assassinations, and she kind of looks over, she sees Durali and Sigrun coming down the street, and she goes, "Is that... Wait... Durali..." Oh, she kind of pushes you past Mormorn with incredible strength and runs towards Sigrun and Durali.
I am laughing in there.
Look.
He just
Everyone
got
loves
shoved
Durali.
aside.
Sigrud stiffens in alarm and is like looking at Durali like,
I just put a hand on like the side of Sigurd's face. And I'm like, no, it's alright.
Durali, it's
like,
been
huh?
so long since I visited the Tabaxi capital. She looks up. The last time I tried to see you, Dibis Jr. told me that you weren't available, that you had disappeared on some new mission. I have been desperate to get in touch with you. I have a book I'm wanting you to read.
Durali, you know my cousin?
Wait, you're traveling with this asshole? And she points to Vormorn.
I met him not too long ago.
You know he was cast out of the nobility. He's worse than a commoner. What is someone of high class magic doing around with peasants?
Well, capital got decimated, so...
I heard. I'm glad to hear you're safe. Did the king get out? What's up, Vormorn?
No, I was gonna say, like, I've pretty much get a good gauge on people about, being, like, really, evil, and I've done, like, has my cousin, like, done, like, heinous things that deserve punishment?
Your cousin has watched as her entire family has one by one been assassinated and killed in front of her, leaving her as the last one to be alive. She is a pretty messed up person that you would know about, but she is not cruel by any nature. She is just very helly. She looks down on pretty much everyone.
Okay, yeah. I mean...
This was
really
normal for
going
you
based
back
on
in the
that.
day as well. Like, this would have been common.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that, I'm letting someone who shouldn't be alive live.
No.
But,
Yeah.
alright, cool.
She's
we're
never
good.
killed anybody to your knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. On the last thing she said about the king get out, Durali kind of sighs and said, like, I really don't know. He sent me out on a task. I got back. He wasn't there anymore.
Well, he was a good man to play board games with. I'm sad to see him go. Well, it was, I'll have to catch up with you sometime. I'll invite you out to, meet my betrothed. We'll have some tea sometime. I know he'd love to meet you. A caster of your capability and legend would be very valuable, to have amongst, to call amongst our allies.
You know, a guard came and told me that a noble wanted to meet with me. I'm assuming that's your betrothed, or is that another?
My betrothed is, Michael of the House of, Jehoshaphat. The head of the house.
But there was another lord that called. It was a different house. Sort of an O. What was that, DM?
Oleron? She looks at
Oleron,
you.
yeah.
You mean the
Yes, that's
traitors?
it. Yes, of course, the traders, Oleron.
Yeah, they're a treacherous house. That old fox, Monoke might be looking to talk to you. I haven't seen him at all recently. They're not really a welcomed house. Most of us believe that they were founded by the House of Virtue. In truth, Durali, they're nothing but a bunch of weak traitors who don't really deserve much. But due to the fact that Oleron is currently fighting 3 of the houses on their own, I mean, they've managed to get an army, but I don't imagine they're going to last much longer.
Dear cousin, I do have a question. What is the current view against the Toth right now with their war with Robot?
Not that it's any of your business, you peasant bastard. But currently a few of the houses are wanting to go to war. Pretty badly. I see a potential, especially much my betrothed being the one leading most of the faction, anything to get rid of that nasty Seraphim house. Those bastards are nothing, toxic and conniving. There are rules to this game, and yet they continuously break them. But they're the only ones focusing on trying to keep the nobility in check right now and keeping us strong. There was plans to eventually invade Dragonsgate, but as that has fallen, I don't imagine that's still going to go through. Amongst the heads, I believe, many wish for war, but due to many of the houses being stuck in wars amongst others, there's not likely to be any movement. An official declaration may come, but nothing would come of it, if my guess, unless you manage to somehow solve all the houses' problems in a single motion of stopping all the wars amongst them. You know, best thing you do that. The only thing I can imagine she can do is maybe you'll blow up the Capitol again, or get one of the Toth to do it. That's the only way they're gonna end up doing anything. Anyways, but no one's that stupid.
Writing that down.
Why do you think I made a little hum noise?
No one's that dumb to do that. I mean, we've got the entirety of the Heli army located here. Most of the nobles have sent men to protect the capital, and no one wants to be outdone. So they all keep sending more, better troops to try and to show their power and willingness to the king. Anything to suck up to be the next king.
Cousin, are you so sure that I don't have magic? I know we haven't talked since the past, but when is the last time you really checked?
She looks you up and down and goes, "You were born common. Your
Yes.
parents were nothing but a low-hanging branch of ours that we let you exist to take care of some of the lower-ranking animals we had. Because, well, serfs are expensive. They keep dying, you know."
We do, don't we?
Yeah, you fragile beings. That's truly why the Heli nobility is so much better. Anyways, no, you shouldn't. Anybody of that rank wouldn't have magic, and even if you did, you were cast from the house. Your magic would be taken from you by one of the, well, I guess I shouldn't speak on that, as that's not my place. But if you did have magic, you'd be hunted down and have it taken from you, I'd guess. If that was the case.
I can say the magic isn't my own.
Ah, you're one of those. Oh, good.
Yes.
You lowborns always make deals with fiends and other creatures to gain you power. It's nothing like true strength. Anyways, as she turns back to Durali, ignoring you, how did you come
what
across...
did happen to my captors?
She ignores Vormorn's comment altogether. How did you come across a Firecrest werebear and a Scrofe of such high quality? It's not common to find ones of this. You know, she looks very familiar.
It's actually a really funny story. So I was sent out on a mission with a little cleric friend of mine that I had met a while ago. Really nice girl. Really, really high caster too, as far as clerics go. I was sent out to find this old dungeon, and we literally fell into a room with them.
Oh, of
A
course.
lot of chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of random chance stuff. They were useful enough as meat shields, so I took them along.
She looks Sigrun up and down and goes, this one in particular looks really, really interesting.
I wouldn't know. I always focused more on magic.
At the end of Durali speaking, like when she finishes speaking, Sigrun does the head nod, like in like giant yes that she's done before, just like blankly nodding.
Give me
She
a
nods
performance check, Sigrun. Durali, sorry, go ahead.
I said I taught her to do that. She does that to every.
Can I? Yeah, do I get advantage because of that?
Sure, why not? Feel free. Why not?
I chased the fucking dungeon away. I made it so hard.
Oh yes, one more. No one cares. You really need to learn. This is the problem with your father and mother when we cut them down. They just talk too much. Your father tried to speak up at the house council saying, "Oh, we shouldn't marry into the house Jehoshaphat. They're the ones killing us." Oh yeah, sure. My betrothed was trying to wipe out our house just to get our land. Yeah, Yeah, I believe you, totally, and that's what got your father's head cut off. Do you want to be following him?
Do you believe it?
No, of course. Why would my betrothed ever manage or do that?
After I meet with this trader, I guess, I haven't really read up on Helly politics recently, I'd gladly meet up with your betrothed to speak of whatever he wishes to.
Well, he's in the palace right now. He's been in meetings with the Minister of House Seraphim.
By the way, Durali, the slave that you wanted's on the podium.
You see him trying to scream, bright red cheeks as the tying around his mouth is continuing.
Why is he screaming?
He thought he recognized the werebear.
Interesting. She goes, well, I'm going to be on my way. Fine specimen here that you've got with this Scrofe female. If you ever decide to sell her or get rid of her, I could use her for some breeding stock amongst some of the other slaves I have. She's definitely got the muscularity to be a good slave for the future.
If I ever think about it, I'll gladly keep you in mind.
She nods.
Well, cousin, if you ever fall, like I did, you're welcome with me.
Oh, yes, that's totally gonna happen. And I hope that you die in a pit of snakes.
No, that'd be preferable.
It would be to your company as she continues and turns and starts to walk off.
I always liked conversations with her. She was so funny.
As she leaves.
Sigrun gives you a look as you say that, like, she's giving you a look of disagreement.
Just a regular, everyday talk with Allie Noble.
Yeah, no, yeah.
True.
You get used to it after a while. That's why I like insults so much. They're kind of like banter to me.
I'm glad to know I apparently have pull with these nobles. That's cool.
I'm going to take their souls.
What's the bidding on our friend on the podium at this point?
Lucius, what'd you say? 1 second.
I told Formorn, call me Lou one more time.
As you,
I want to know that Durali said it first.
Durali also acts like a child.
As you turn Sigrun to look, you hear 50 million, and you suddenly hear the crowd gasp as the Scrofe comes charging into the crowd, shoving people aside, running towards you as the guards run to catch him. He is trying to get towards you guys by the looks of it, as he's running with all of his strength.
What did they say earlier about the paddle, that if you it's an instant death spell for the wielder, or that you get targeted?
I have done nothing here.
Correct.
Tycharis pinned the man. He's trying to escape.
Tycharis does not move.
That's okay.
I would like to
Yes,
cast targeting. I'd like to target specifically, make sure people know I'm putting my hand right at the guy charging us.
Okay.
And I am going to cast Dominate Person.
Okay. What's the save?
Dominate Person's a Wisdom save.
All right. 10.
Yeah, that fails. So he is now completely friendly to me. I have a telepathic link with him. I can issue whatever commands I want with no action, and it has to do its best to obey. So I am going to say, and I'll say out loud, I will just say stop.
You see as Suddenly, the Elwar kind of stands up, 3 guards on him, picking them up off the ground, and just stands there as they're hanging from him now.
There. That should help you all do your job, yes?
The guard captain from earlier kind of looks over at you and sees it and goes, "I now get why the nobility likes you." And he turns and nods and says, "I appreciate that."
And then I will order him telepathically to follow the guy that spoke to me. He should follow you. Take him wherever.
Well, he turns and kind of as Alwar kind of starts to walk, you hear the guy at the stand kind of going, "Apologies for the interruption, people. You know how these Scroffe can be. We'll move on to the next candidate, as it looks like this one has not been broken in enough yet. We're going to be sending him back to the mines temporarily. We appreciate your business here today. We will be giving you all a bonus on your way out for participating in this and having to deal with such a inconvenience out of your way." And he continues on with the bidding as a wood elf or a mountain elf is tossed up on the stage.
I'm going to cast Sending.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to send Durali a message. They've seen you control it. You may be able to purchase him.
I'll go wander to talk to the ones that took him.
The guard
Yeah,
captain's
I
not
like this
moving very
flyer.
far, as your party kind of follows with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if she's still on Sigrun, then Sigrun has to go to like
Well,
carry
I
her.
was gonna jump off and walk off.
Oh.
I will also mention, Vormorn, you do notice that Tycheris seems to watch your cousin leave the entire time, and then when she finally disappears around a corner, turns and follows you again.
Hey, Tycheris, what's up, bud? Something wrong?
The Tycheris just neighs and continues to follow you.
All right.
Horse is sad.
But as you lot kind of walk towards this, back towards the captain of the guards, he's starting to yell at his guards to lead the newly acquired slave towards the mines. Guard captain kind of turns and goes, yeah, what can I do for you, Durali? And I didn't get the other one's name. I caught yours from the woman talking to you, but I don't know yours, Mr. Helly." He looks at Bormorn.
Call me Galder.
Galder, that's right. That was what you wrote down. All right, he closes the thing. All right, no problem. What can I do you two for?
I'm gonna
Raleigh? Yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna be blunt because I kind of want him. I want that one, the one you're taking away as he is now, and you know he's gonna in the mines. He'd rather die than break. I know his type.
Most of Scroffe are like that. That's why we chain them up and force them to do labor by command. Makes it a lot easier to deal with them, but also makes it a risk if they can figure out how to do magic. Thankfully, these screechers are too dumb for it.
Aren't they like?
Isn't that one a druid?
I mean, listen, they claimed he was a druid, but I've yet to see any magic. I've seen that he can throw off 3 guards and just stand up without issue. That I've seen. I
Well,
believe that.
A magic-resistant magic caster would be an interesting case study. If I wanted to buy him without breaking him, what would they?
Well, since he's going to the mines and he's not going to be sold anyways, to be honest, it means I got to be put in charge of him. I don't want him. I don't need some big scruff that takes 3 of my damn guards to take down. He's almost as bad as the king that we have down there. Bastard took 5 guards down before we broke him in. Had to take out his kneecaps before we got him to do his work. Now he crawls to them and through the mines. It's fantastic to watch for a king being so weak. If you ever want to join in on the kicking the kicking spree with him, let me know. I'm happy to help you out there, Durali, as nobles love to pay for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, he looks about and goes, I'll tell you what, I'll either give you a fair trade up for the Scroffe you got there. She looks like good breeding stock for future slaves. Or, I'll tell you, you got 1,000 gold pieces, you can have him. It saves me the time.
I'll plot a pouch of 1,000.
He takes it and goes,
Hell yeah.
alright, easiest business I've done. Do you want his crap?
Yeah, may as well.
Alright, he kind of pulls up, he orders one of the guards, and a few minutes later they come back, and he goes,
I'll hold out my arms to collect his stuff.
I got 1 animated shield, I got 1 dragon scale mail black, +3 moon sickle, an amulet of health, a staff of the woodlands, I don't know what the hell he was doing with this, and a cloak of protection. And he kinda, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'll
send you a
have
note,
Lucy
don't worry.
take
Yeah.
And then I'll use my link, because I'm assuming all this is to orders. I'm assuming I can also talk to him through it. For dominate person. I'm going to basically let him know outside of the control, hey, I bought you, we'll talk later, don't worry about it.
The creature just vigorously nods up and down. And he goes, alright, well, he's yours, and now I gotta deal with him. Bindings are staying on while he's in the city, or while he's in the market, rather. Once he's out, you're responsible for him. If he gets... Yeah. If he gets loose, I want to make this very clear. If we have to re-seize him after getting loose and he causes any damage, you'll be held responsible. Otherwise, if you can't pay, he'll be retaken and sold for the amount of damages.
Of course. Don't worry. I'll keep him under tight leash.
Alright. He nods and goes, I don't need anything to deal with the rest of you. So... And he kind of closes up his little booklet and puts the gold in his pouch and goes, yep. Alright, he's yours. And he moved on.
Alright, awesome.
Is there anyone with us when he leaves?
Some guards that are kind of watching, but they're just they're just doing their patrol, so they're required to be here because they're watching the market as well.
But they're within like earshot and stuff, and that gets messy.
Okay, let's set up camp outside of town. I'm getting quite tired. Today's been quite exhausting.
Yeah. Alright, Durali will just nod.
Alright.
Does Durali need a ride?
I was gonna ride
get back on Sigrun. But yeah, honestly, valid. Although, he should be fine. He might just be slightly bloody.
Actually, Durali, please take the slaves outside the town and set up camp. I'm gonna go check up on the research district.
Okay. Yeah, I can handle that.
Alright, Alwar follows willingly, continuing to seem like he's trying to talk through his gag.
That's fine, I'll take off the gag later.
As he follows orders.
You don't have to. You could telepathically talk to him.
You do see, though, as Sigrun is marching like a soldier, Alwar almost follows in perfect sync. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. She's got that
Where there's a whip.
Yeah,
the
two seem to be very accustomed to marching as they continue on. Lucius, are you gonna follow Durali, or are you gonna go with Vormorn? Just to confirm.
I'm following with Durali.
Okay. Alright, as you all head out of the city, heading off onto your, just kind of to the outskirts, you find a nice little cave that Sigrun marks on a little, like, really crudely drawn map that you can definitely tell Sigrun drew in a hurry. And it's, as you get there, it's just a hole, and then you see that it's an actual cave that has, that goes on and continues. And as you kind of go in, you see that there's a little camp set up inside, a couple tents, a little fire pit that's already been dug out. It looks like Sigrun's been here for a while, as well.
The moment that we get in the cave and like we're out of sight, she like immediately drops the marching act and she just looks at the group, Alwar like included, and is like, I am getting blood before the end of this fucking week. And it's just like visibly like worked up now that she doesn't have to put up the act.
Because I can reach to my shoulder, I'm gonna take off Alwar's gag. And just say,
I also set down his stuff and then turned back into my human form.
Okay. Perfect. Durali, what are you saying to him?
There. I hope that's better, and now we can talk.
I thought you were dead.
I was!
I guess pleasant surprise.
It took 35 of these fuckers to take me down.
Good man.
One of them bit my nose. He literally took a chunk out of my nose. I don't know. They don't fight fair. Yeah, they're getting really bad at magic.
They really, no honor. No honor.
No, I took a shot. Me and my crew of raiders. We saw when the Duramar domes popped up. Once we heard from the world news that there was one in the capital, we rushed here and started raiding the city, and that's when we got our asses captured. I don't know what those guards were talking about. We got caught here. I killed 2 nobles, and then The rest of the men didn't make it out.
Ah.
I'm the only one who survived the torture,
I
unfortunately.
can see why they don't want you there. You're very much a security risk, and that is a good compliment.
Well, they
She'll
put me in
gives
the
a thumbs
mines.
up.
And he smiles. They put me in the mines, so I ate the foot of the captain that was stuck down there.
Ah, just the foot? Oh, I would have gone for the whole leg.
They grabbed me before I could bite the rest. They're mean
Is
guards
it
down there.
true what they did to our king? Or was he just talking shit because he's that kind of person?
No, they've broken the joints of most of the scrofa on their legs, so they can't run. We were fight. They couldn't keep more than 5 of us in an area without us getting out of the hand. At least that's what I found it from one of the older timers that have been there for a couple months now. Yeah. I can tell you who's behind it, though. I did figure that out. Bastard House of Seraphims and living off the fat of the scrofa. They capitalized on the attack and ended up buying up most of us. That's who's working in the mines. They're taking all the damn profits.
Are the ones with the broken joints, do you think with magic they could be healed, or do you think they are crippled for good?
Easily. Most of the guards down there are like your friend who took off. They're commoners. They don't have any magic capability.
This should not be a surprise. We are planning to do some sort of breakage. You know how it is. I have a lot of healing potions. Speaking of, if you need one, I would ask for it now.
No.
As she opens up her pouch.
He's putting on his gear and getting his equipment on proper.
Good. But I thought it would be easiest to buy a bunch, get them healed, and then go back into one, get my fucking money back and killed people. But given that the prices have hiked up since I last was here, do you think it would be better to just start some shit in the mines?
No. You want to do something? Your friend that was with us, he's nobility, right? I saw him talking to the woman with the nice dress.
Supposedly.
Technically noble, but kicked out of his house.
That's fair. If I know of anything about Helly information, if he kills the head of the house, he can take the throne or the position from her. Only problem is she's wearing one of them fancy necklaces from the righteous asshole I met down in the mines when he came down to visit. I doubt that you want to mess with them. They've got a pretty big, strong hold, and they're not easy to deal with, from what I could tell. Although he was kind of a priss, not gonna lie, but he had a lot of magic.
Aren't they one of the most powerful aside from House Seraphim?
Yeah, it's another Helly. I don't know. They all look like they're powerful. He probably is. He had magic beyond what I could tell. And it kind of settles in as you lot start to plan and think. As the last comment you hear before we cut over to Vormorn is Elwar looking at Lucius and going, "So your name's Lou now, huh?"
That's my nickname for him. Don't steal my thing.
That's only when he's playing the part.
Yeah, as the fire fades away in darkness as we cut to the next scene. Vormorn, as you leave your party, as they head out of the city, you head towards the fancier, or the original district you were in when entering the city, the research district. Currently, last you remember was headed by the House of Atho, who ran pretty much all of the research in the capital at the time. And as far as it goes, as you look about, you don't see many commoners in the area. It's almost kind of desolated. A couple guards kind of walking their patrols as usual, but as you almost walk by yourself down this portion of town, you see labs and different buildings full of people walking about in coats, experimenting on creatures you haven't even seen before. Are you looking for anything particular?
I am looking for anybody that I might have recognized as being a more experimenting on actual people.
Yeah.
Or dealing with like the slave collars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, give me a perception check with advantage. Or actually, sorry, rather investigation. Because you're gonna be digging through a lot.
13. Actually, do I still have that D4 or no?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
no,
think
because
you're
you're
too
not
far
near.
away.
Yeah, you're too far away.
Yeah, I'm too far away.
Yeah, so as you start to look about, you see a couple of locals, or a couple of the lower ranking nobles, similar to you, like kind of lesser branches, many of them working in these labs. Some working on live animals, some live people, some heli, some creatures of all sorts. But the one that catches your attention the most is you see the house, or a house sigil on a building of a spiked shark with a wave behind it. What's up, Lucius? Oh, okay. You unmuted. All right, no worries. Yeah. So as you see, you notice that this house being House Azazel, you recognize immediately, and inside you see a woman with pretty slim build, rather tall, looking pretty ancient, but really aged well, as she looks to be working with a couple of water nymphs that you see that seem to have a Toth in a ball of water currently. Like a orb of water that they're basically being drowned in. Otherwise, you don't catch anyone else that catches your attention outright. But you do know this noble, as you've met her before. Grigori is a predominant member of the Heli houses and nobility, as one of the lead researchers in blood magic.
Interesting.
And she is also noted as the butcher of Toth, as far as it goes. She particularly enjoys experimenting on Toth.
Not a good person, but is also really pretty decent at doing bad things to the bad people. Kind of like what I do, almost. It's probably a bit more cruel. However, I want to talk to this person.
All right, as you walk into the lab, the big windows in the front, it's clear there's an open sign in the front. Like, this is a place of business as you walk in. And you see what looks to be almost a younger carbon copy of Grigori standing at what looks to be a kind of front desk. As you walk into a nice little room with a little bit of music playing all around that you can hear continuously going on, with a nice little upbeatness going on. Kind of like a waiting room music track of sorts. You can hear the screaming coming from behind the door, from the door behind her, that seems to be locked with a couple of different padlocks, and what you can see are some arcane locks, which would totally do something if there wasn't a window looking right into the lab. As you,
it's to keep them from escaping, I understand.
Yeah. She looks up at you and goes, how may... Oh, that is a gorgeous nightmare. Yeah, he is very well taken care of.
I do try to keep Tycheris well maintained.
You know, it definitely shows that you are a very responsible pet owner. How may I do business, or what are you here to do business about, good sir?
I want to talk about the Toth.
Oh, fully fair. Our my mother is okay. Fairness, grandmother. Call her mother, otherwise she will basically suck the blood out of you.
Is Ma'am okay?
Ma'am works. She kind of like nods. She goes, Grigori is the lead expert in Toth and Toth magic, as well as Toth history, and pretty much anything to know about Toth. She's been leading the entire research on it for the future war. Ever since the first war, her family's pretty much led the research on them. What would you like to speak with her? I can set up a lunch. And you do look of common birth. Not to be disrespectful, I'm a lower branch myself. It might be hard to get a meeting with her. I can ask, but do you have like a noble name or some sort of name I can throw out there for you?
Well, I am I'm a former noble, Vormorn Galder, but
Galder?
Vormorn Galder, that's my name. Former noble of House, let me double check, Uziel.
Uziel? Oh, okay.
However, if it's more, better looking, more convincing, I do have my compatriot of mine, who I will have join, if you so wish, Durali.
She goes, I don't know the name, but I'll use it and see if if Grigori knows.
The purpose, if you so wish, is about war with the Toth.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely let her know and see what I can do. Give me one moment. As she
Of course,
said,
of course.
and she summons up. You see a little, what looks to be a very nice plush chair suddenly appears in front of you. Also, beside it, what looks to be a mountain elf being forced into the shape of a chair, unable to move, has suddenly appeared as well in front of you.
I definitely won't take a seat on the elf.
Oh, you're not one of the slaving. You're against slave. The youngins have all been into that recently. No problem. And she snaps her fingers, and the elf disappears again, screaming for help. And she goes, "All right, one moment," and she suddenly lights up as a teleportation circle behind the desk seems to immediately start to glow, and she disappears for a second.
I know I didn't get the chance to say it, but I was totally gonna be like, "Oh, it's not that I just don't like sitting on filth."
Moments later, she comes back and she goes, she has a lunch with Durali tomorrow. If your compatriots joining, feel free to join them. She said she doesn't know your house name, but she's more than happy to welcome you to the luncheon if you are a friend of Durali, of the House of Bun Fun.
Well then,
That's not Turoli's last name. I just don't have the thing changed.
It is now. Fuck you.
It is
Fuck off.
that, you know what, that's your fault, Chaston.
No, you're
No,
good. The Calico name. No, I know.
DM said I could do this.
Yeah, you got the last name of Calico. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, thank you very much. I do look forward in meeting with your mother.
Well, you'll be the first. She smiles at you.
We'll just leave it at that then, shall we?
She nods. And as she does, you hear a screech of pain coming from inside the lab.
Oh boy, this town will be the death of me.
As you turn and head out, Vormorn, you head out into the city, or back into the research district. A couple of guards kind of keeping note of you. You do notice Tycheris seems to be very antsy and like looking about a lot. You're not sure if this is just general nerves or if there's something up, but as you look about, your passive perception isn't picking up anything unusual. You can give me a perception check if you'd like, though.
Yeah, I'll throw in a perception check. Also asking Tycheris if that's a natural 20 for a 22.
Shit. With a 22, yeah, as you look about, you just get, you kind of get the sense that Tycheris it seems nervous about something, but there's no one watching you guys. It just seems pretty much like a normal, what you'd expect to be walking around this town.
You sense something, boy?
Tycheris just keeps neighing at you and kind of leaves it at that for now.
Hey, don't worry, boy. We'll deal with these sons of guns sometime. They won't go free for long.
I will note, Tycheris can speak to you. I hope you do.
Can he?
Yes, he can. He is intelligent enough. He can talk to you telepathically if he needs to.
You see, I would love to do that, actually.
The difference
I was operating under the impression that we couldn't.
Yeah, it can. Tycheris can speak to you telepathically due to your link, but the thing is, again, there seems to be a reason that this creature or Tycheris isn't.
Okay.
But yeah, so as you, I assume you're gonna head out and head to meet up with the rest of the party. Okay. Yeah. As you head out, another hour passes by as you finally come to the cave entrance. And as it's opened up, as Alwara removes or unmolds the earth, reopening it fully to let you in. You come climbing down and you see your party kind of sitting around a fire, talking, and looks like getting plans drawn up.
Howdy, Alwar. I do apologize for my brissiness. I know that it was an act. I apologize if you took offense to it.
You guys do have to come. Okay. Making sure you guys got me. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, he was talking to Alwar.
Yeah. But I mean, we're all together now,
I like to think it's
yeah. It's like, I do apologize for the way I acted. I was trying to, keep up an act. I know I looked pretty, I got a lot of looks, but I was trying to maintain as much normality for a heli as much as possible.
I guess Allward doesn't care.
You hear Tycharis whisper something in your ear, or in your head, Vormorn.
Gotcha.
So DM, where's Allward cool with me painting my sigil? Because I gotta mark him somewhere so he doesn't get recaptured.
He looks about and goes, "You can draw on the armor. I don't care. I
Yeah, that works.
skinned a dragon and put it on some armor that I found lying around, and it worked."
Right. Time to draw a big thing of my face on the back of his armor.
All right. Give me a performance check.
Yep.
But yeah, as you all kind of sit down and start to figure out what's plan of action here.
My cousin's up to something. Something's going on.
When is a Heli Noble not?
Fair.
Yeah, they always seem to have some kind of plan.
Not really. When is a noble in general not? That's kind of just a noble thing.
I could tell you, I
Apparently-
traveled with a noble. He was always planning things.
Apparently, my cousin tried to cast Hunter's Mark upon Tycharis. Didn't take effect for some reason. I don't know. It's odd.
That is a spell that lets you track things, yes.
Yeah, track things easier, not perfectly, but yeah.
Yes, but the fact that she tried to track Tycharis.
She doesn't want you getting involved in something.
She
Clearly.
very explicitly said she doesn't.
But you know what the
Well,
funny thing
what's
is
involved?
that I never got to answer that before you showed up, Durali, so I'm under no obligation.
Good, good.
So,
I hope you know I plan to still try to liberate my people.
yes. So,
Good.
if I understand correctly, how Seraphim is like the owner of those mines, or at least the slaves of the mines.
The main ones, yes.
And
They have a lot, from what our friend here said, she nods to Elwar. A lot of them have their joints and legs damaged, but because they are looked over by commoners, it's not magical damage. I'm fairly certain if I gave one of them a health potion, their legs would recover. That means when we
You
get
know-
there, healing them would hopefully be good. The issue is if they're under mind control, that is...
The captain
Yes.
of the guard gave me an open invitation into the mines, for me personally.
yes, Durali, there's also a luncheon that we have to attend to with a researcher that apparently you already had an appointment with for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, the guard was
Yes.
talking about a noble wanted to meet with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's big on experimenting on Toth, so we might be able to get information about what to do with the Toth.
Probably
There's
useful.
Also planning on definitely, maybe we can find out what the Toth do and all about. Maybe we can rig something up in the Capitol building to blow
Well,
it up
wasn't
and make
the
it look like
one-
the Toth.
God said something that if we had the Toth attack the capital, all the Heli houses would try to murder them? Because that
That's what-
sounds good.
That's what my cousin said. But yes. So if we can learn how the Toth operate from the foremost researcher on the Toth, we can then make something look like the Toth to have the Heli gather around in a united force against the Toth. Maybe even find out the way that they burnt down their capital in the first place, because that could be our in to disrupt their little circle to summon the entire or open that permanent portal to Abaddon. 'Cause that's some shit that I don't want to deal with.
Well, sounds like you two have a date then.
I will leave the political stuff to you. I am surprised I could fool the guards into thinking I couldn't understand what they were saying.
You did excellent today, Sigrun. You really
did.
pulled it off. You pulled it off.
I did. I was, you know what? I was very impressed with myself because the whole time I was there, from start to finish, I wanted to kill people, and I didn't, which is incredible self-control.
You know, me too. There's a lot of folk in there that deserve divine retribution.
Yeah, I was dubious when I met you that you were like, oh, I'm Heli, but I don't like the Heli. But after seeing how Heli talk to other Heli, I'm surprised you haven't killed her.
Well, you see, remember when I mean, yes, she's family. That's what you just gotta understand. Although, I really don't like her. It would...
If you are held back by obligation, I am not. If you need a loophole.
Listen. I'd rather my house... Although I am not from the house anymore, cousin, isn't good by me, but she was never bad by me either. The fact that my folks were killed is actually did very much get on my nerves, and I'm gonna look for the person who killed my family and remove them from this plane of existence. However,
is it not obvious that your cousin was part of the murders? No?
I've no doubt that she was there.
I thought it weird that she made comments that the person she's marrying, who will take over her house because she is the last member, wasn't the one who was trying to kill her family, take over the house. Like, I don't get politics, but I feel like it's pretty obvious that that's who that is.
Yes, I know. I'm pretty sure she's afraid for her life, and so, I am
Have you considered she might also just be stupid?
Oh, yeah.
Well.
I don't think she's afraid for anything. She's either in on it or is just really dumb.
Yes, I am usually good at smelling fear. I have experienced it on the battlefield from my opponents. She did not seem afraid.
So, I mean, I'm very much into the toppling of the two head houses of the Heli while we're at it. Taking away all the slaves from the mines, maybe killing my cousin's betrothed or doing something, blowing up the Capitol. I might actually end up killing my cousin. She did say some very suspicious things about my folks. Might have to visit her tonight.
Sigrun, I want to take a minute one more because this is important to note because I don't think Maya remembers this. Sigrun has met Michael. You guys met. He was the guy with the stone sword. Remember, who wanted to become king. He gave you guys a quest and you never did it for him. Yeah, and he still knows. You're the only one that was part of the party at the time.
Well, I don't think he'll be happy to see me. You see, as Sigrun is like just sitting there, like kind of just listening. She's like her brain is like 20 minutes behind. She's like, oh wait, she's betrothed to like that Michael guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See, this is awkward. I don't know if Lucius was even here for that, but we agreed for a quest to help make him the Heli King, which might have been good or bad. We were debating it, but adventure stuff came up, had to leave, a lot of risk of death and all that. If he recognizes me, which admittedly, I mean, look at me, she poses a bit like, I stand out quite a bit, the Scrofe here. He might be pissed.
What character was I during this? I don't remember.
Shogun.
I was still Shogun.
This was back right after right around the time of the wolves falling and you guys evacuating the underground stronghold of Turkey.
He might have forgotten. He might be over it. He might be pissed, but that gives an in. If I have to go with you guys and he's mad, you could be like, well, we can make you king now. And,
I mean, I'm just going to talk
about
how noble I am that apparently all the Heli here love.
Well,
Yeah, I am
Durali, you would know,
impressed.
Heli nobility really like magic casters. Mages from all around the world that serve the royal courts of kingdoms are sent here to study most nowadays. So
Yeah, and I have a high tier sorcerer bloodline.
you were already a wizard before the worlds merged. So you were that's where the respect comes from. You are someone who went unaided, basically.
Yep. I'm definitely. I believe I'm looked down upon because I'm a patron.
Yes, both because you have a patron and because of your lack of natural magic. Remember, Heli are one of the only races that actually have natural magic in their bodies compared to the rest of the races that have to use a catalyst to cast. That's why they grow crystals in my world for the Incremian races. Heli are.
So do I technically have
Yes.
natural magic?
You, as a blood hunter, new. You're using your blood basically as a catalyst.
Okay.
They would have loved Shogun.
Yeah. Shogun, pretty much, yeah, magic casters in general who have either bloodlines or are wizards or bards are looked upon favorably.
If
Other warlocks are looked down as lower than even the the commoner caste.
if Sigrun ever dies, I should just come as a magic wielding Scrofe and just be like a double.
They're
Just
gonna
be
be
like the most mind blowing.
And that also
really
tells.
torn.
Oh god. That also tells you why Alwar was being sold, is because if he does have magic, that means that he is a danger to the
Yeah, they
Heli.
didn't know for sure, but yeah, I
That is what-
imagine that was.
yeah.
That's probably also why he was very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we got a discount.
As you all kind of sit around though and start considering your options, Durali, you could send a message and try and see if you could speed up the lunch into the to the date to see if you can get to talk to with Grigori today.
I could, but is there any benefit of me not doing what I'm doing tomorrow anyway?
Well, I mean, it would give us time to do this today and then free the slaves tomorrow.
True. Give you a fresh start on whenever you want to start. You'll have more information if you're trying to gather it from a noble. Yeah. It's up to you fully. You can choose to go in with the info you have, or you can choose to push it. I'm just letting you know, as someone who's a noble, you have the power, given your ranking, even though you're no longer a court mage, to...
Keep in mind the gates to Abaddon could be opened at any minute.
Also true.
To be fair, I was never fired. The place just crumbled.
Yeah, so your position of power, you have the nobility to request a earlier meeting with the nobles if you want. You just have to send someone to basically make the request.
Okay.
You want me to take you to the research facility?
Honestly, they'd probably just let me in to talk to him now if I wanted to. Yeah, we
Well,
can.
yeah. All right. Hop on Pycaris and we'll be off.
All right.
You folks
Don't worry,
stay
big guy.
safe.
I weigh basically nothing. Don't worry.
All right, you three. Stay safe. Be careful. Don't get captured by other heli.
My
I'm
only
sure you
concern
won't let that
are
happen.
please don't cause trouble, because then I'll get in trouble, and that's annoying.
Alwar
Yeah.
looks
We
at
will.
you and goes, you know it's common to bring slaves to, like, anything you do in the Heli Lands. You could fully take each person here with you and just have them stand behind you as you
Yeah,
are.
but Sigrun just admitted she was that close.
Well,
to
no,
her.
not if this is with the trader lady. I've never met a fucking trader lady.
No, this isn't the trader lady. This is the foremost expert on Toth
Yeah,
lady.
Grigori, which Sigrun has never met.
Yeah, that's what she means. Yeah, she's like, if it's not Michael, I'm
If
fine.
you're confident you won't cause issues, of course.
Well, I didn't say that, but
Then
There
no.
you go.
then
I
you
Does
am-
this
don't.
mean I need to do the thing
You-
again?
Yeah.
will not
yeah.
find me on better behavior. And I'm telling you now, you can leave me in the cave alone. I make no promises I will be on good behavior here either.
Alwar looks at you and says, I'm staying here. And sits down.
There you go.
Ugh.
Okay.
You know, do you want to
Fucking,
stay
we
with
can
Alwar?
sit here and talk strategy, I guess.
Lucius, I trust you to be the responsible one.
Yeah, you should take Lucius. I don't want you guys without someone of muscle.
Alwar looks at you
What?
and goes, you should take Sigrun and Vormorn. Take them all with you. I'm just going to take a nap. I haven't slept in 3 days.
All right, Sigrun, I trust you. You're able to maintain composure earlier. Let's rock and roll.
She's like,
Going to
she's like,
step to the side and shift again.
Okay.
good.
Sigrun, please don't cause trouble. I don't want to do to you what I did to Alward, the dominate thing.
Listen,
Thanks for that, by the way.
listen.
You're welcome.
I am just saying I don't want you to, but I'm also saying if you did it, it would be a good learning experience, so I could resist it better
Oh,
in the
just-
future.
Just come on.
As you all
I
kind of start venturing out of the hole into the town.
Oh, Lucius, before I go, she'll give him back the eyeless beholder from her bag of holding.
Oh, okay.
So that way he has his weapons and shit.
He's going with you.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I'm
Then I
going.
can. Then I will.
Alwar
I
asked
will, I'll
us to
keep
take him.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
don't.
thought he was come. I thought he was staying in the cave.
No, Alwar's the only one staying behind for the time being.
Alwar's
Alright.
going to take a nap.
Alwar,
You know, Lucius,
there are food rations in that part of the cave. The toilets, that's part of the cave.
Alwar's
Don't
snoring.
die. Okay, that's customary
Yeah.
in our people.
Don't
Roll
worry,
it.
I'm not.
Lucius, I need you to pick up a name for yourself because I know you don't like Lou. That sounds like Lucius, but is not. That's why I don't want to use your real name.
Does he not like my nickname?
I just like when I say
mean-
it, that's for sure.
What if we
I don't think
called
it
him?
really matters if you use my real name.
What if we called him
Might.
Luscious?
Luscious.
It is a perfect name. They'll never know.
Certainly, he certainly has luscious fur.
Lucius. I'm gonna. You
To
know
be
what?
honest, my plan is to just try not to talk, and if I do, it'll be in bear.
Honestly, that's probably the correct call.
All right, Lucius. I'm just gonna stick with calling
You need to
Lou. It's
teach
kinda
me
been-
bear. And
All
I will
right.
teach you giant.
All right, folks. Axe up. Let's get a move on.
I can if I have my axe, they will definitely kill me.
As you start heading out of the hole, heading into the city, Grigori, or one of the guards seeing you, takes a note to Raleigh and goes to run off to let Grigori know. And after about a half an hour of waiting there, the guard comes back and lets you know about a restaurant that has been fully reserved for you and your compatriots to join Grigori and her guest for lunch.
Perfect.
And as he kind of points you in the general direction, he points to a restaurant called Mashes. And you just see as you kind of you guys head into the city, really deep into the central of the city, coming towards the royal palace. You see the design, or a very simple white building with giant open windows, what looks to be a very normal tavern. But on the sigil above it is a glowing sign that seems to have a continuous light spell being cast on it by a slave. That has a potato being crushed in a two-frame animation. There's two slaves up there casting the spell to light it up.
I love that. That's amazing.
But as you come walking into the thing, the place immediately changes to a very fancy restaurant. Nice long red rugs everywhere that seem to give off a very nice lavender scent. You can smell meats of foreign lands, different fruits, wines, different alcohols being served. There are nobles all around you, and as the hostess sees you come in, she kind of leads you into a back room, into one of the private areas looks to be a magic room set up, similar to what ships where they have their own they have individual rooms that no one else can enter without permission. The ship or the restaurant seems to have something similar, and as you all enter, you see the very tall, old, effeminate. Well, I say very tall compared to this party. Maybe not so. Sorry, standing at 6 foot tall.
That's tall.
Slim.
Oh god.
Slim built and very and overall tall. She is roughly about 225 years old, which in rough age would be equivalent to around 80 looking. She aged very gracefully, no wrinkles, no stress marks as she looks about. And as you look about, you see sitting next to her another member, a kind of short, but yet large, wide man who seems to give off Durali. You immediately can sense the strong magic coming off of him. He seems to have more magic than anybody in the room currently. The rest of his features being very plain with very close cropped brown hair, scars all across his face, both eyes just being a very simple grayish color, his skin being very gray. He is very muscled for a heli. You do note that his house, or that the sigil he wears is a fox made of blue flame. And as you come to sit down in this very nice room, couple of couches set up at the table, some more chairs set in the back for slaves and like waiters to sit at during the dinner are provided immediately for you, Durali, for the rest of your members. You do note that Ticarius is welcomed in fully. No one says a word as Ticarius walks in with you all.
It works.
In the good treatment, Ticarius. Just right where you belong with the rest of us.
Grigori looks up as you walk in, and she goes, "Oh, Durali!" She goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you. You've grown." And she stands up and smiles at you.
You've grown!
I was say, very funny knowing I haven't grown in years.
She smiles and goes, "Listen, you know that I've been cutting and dissecting bodies all day. You gotta have a sense of humor with these kind of jobs, you know. Oh, and where are my manners?" She she turns and looks over to the larger, muscular Heli. She goes, "This kind of stout fellow who stands at 5 feet tall is Monoop. He is the house head of House Oleron. You might know them as the traitorous houses. Some of the others call them." He was the one who originally requested this lunch. I'm more here because, well, you know, I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. As she kind of looks about, and then you realize Monoop can't talk, as his mouth doesn't seem to open.
DM, did you say traitorous house?
Yes.
Like treacherous?
Yes.
Okay, traitors, like
They
betrayed.
are known as the House Who Betrayed. They supposedly, you would know that supposedly they were founded by the last members of the House of Virtue, which is a house that was wiped out by House Seraphim a long time ago. They are also noted as one of the oldest houses on the Heli records. And there's also a nasty rumor that goes around that most believe they're related to dwarves, which is one of the worst things you can do to a Heli is say that they're related to a lesser race in their eyes. So you can, it's kind of a smear campaign because their city's underground. But he looks over and immediately you all hear suddenly in your head. He goes, "Listen, I'm a soldier. I'm gonna be real straight to the point. I don't care that you've got Sigrun Bjorn Neko with you, and I really don't care that you got a blood hunter who's was the heir to House Firecrest. I know who you all are. I also know Vormorn right there is part of the House of Uziel and is probably a better candidate for the head of the household. I don't like to do niceties, but I do ask that you all talk out loud as we're talking, so it sounds like we're having a conversation. I've already checked the room. You're fine."
Well, that won't be a problem there, my good sir. I'm glad we can have a good conversation.
Grigori starts talking to herself, as you all kind of know, about random crap that seems to kind of fill the room, but none of you really understand what she's saying or hear it. But you do notice as the waiters come in, they seem to pay attention to her and, seem to take orders from her, but not really notice any of you at all as they kind of come in and out. And he looks at you all and goes, "Don't worry, I did this I had Grigori cast a spell in the room to make it so that way it's just an illusion spell to keep the commoners and anybody listening in to not able to hear as easily." As he continues to speak in your head.
Alright, blunt then. I like it. How can I help you then?
I want to kill the leader of the House of Seraphim, Jehoshaphat,
Agreed.
and pretty much anybody
Damn.
above me.
Agreed.
Minus Grigori's house here. And she looks at you and goes, "That was easy." He kind of looks about.
Yeah, no, that kind of lines up pretty well with why we're here. Yeah.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair, I just, I don't want to kill my cousin. But
Oh.
I mean,
He looks over at Vormor and goes, "If you have issues with that, don't worry. She's not going to make it past the night. Michael's already planning to have her assassinated."
No, that
I
sounds.
told you.
Oh, so she's dumb. She's not in on it. Oh,
No,
okay.
she's cunning. She thought if she married into the house, she's had a crush on Michael since she was a wee babe. Most of the nobles do. Even my own daughter does. But Michael's a sick bastard who's got no problem cutting down anybody. And technically, by rules of marriage, as soon as they're married, which as soon as that necklace went on her neck was considered marriage by Heli nobility, he claimed right to her house. If she dies, he gets the house and all of their troops. And more importantly, their entire herd of a lot of vast animals and dangerous creatures that they've been looking to get a hold of.
so I have to
Okay.
kill that bastard to get that house for myself?
What if you put the necklace on yourself?
Can't work.
What?
Has to be the way those things work. They have to consent to it. And he looks about and goes, "Listen, as he continues to speak in your head. Here's the deal. On the morning, I plan to, I have some associates causing a bit of a explosion in the House of Seraphim. My goal is to wipe them, like I mentioned, Jehoshaphat, and specifically the House of Cherubim. They are probably the more dangerous of the lot, in my opinion. Especially after they sent one of their daughters to marry the flippin' emperor of the entirety of the continent of Redenia, saying, "Oh yeah, it's a member of House Seraphim. The emperor was an idiot." But unfortunately, I can't do anything about him. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't care what you all are doing. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't want to know. Less I know, less I can speak to. But here's my plan, and here's what you need to know so you don't get involved. Tomorrow, at exactly 6 in the morning, I will have associates of mine blow up the palace. At that point, the king will not be in the palace, so we will have him ferried off to a safe location. His heir ferried off to a safe location, as the current king will be ended here soon. Once that's taken care of, I will make sure that the House of Seraphim's head's dead. Infighting will wipe that house out. We don't have to worry too much about it. There's no one strong enough to claim the title amongst them. That should be fine. He looks to Sigrun. I'm guessing you're here for the Scrofe slaves, which should eliminate their
Yes.
collars. You should be able to then free them so long as you can get them out. But I can't do anything about the guards. You'll be responsible for that on your own. I don't want to know what you're going to do, but that is, I'm making that clear.
I've got it.
Request.
Yes? What's your
There's
request?
someone I need dealt with, and I want that bomb to look like it was a certain group that did it.
What are you trying to do?
We need the Toth dealt with.
Grigori kind of turns and smiles and goes, "Yeah, wait, what? Okay, yeah, I'm listening."
There we go,
Group
that's-
the group that's ending the world. Yeah, we kind of want it dealt with.
Yes.
She looks, she goes, "The
We're-
world's ending?"
Yeah.
They are threatening if they lose their war to open a permanent portal to Abaddon.
Ah, that's fine. We'll be fine on the island.
Uh,
But if you want them
now-
wiped out, I mean, any excuse to go to war to get some
Yeah.
first slaves. I mean, the Toth
Yes.
would
I mean,
make an interesting
I'm
race.
sure it would help your cause to get even more people out of the way. Just make it look like the Toth did it.
And Oleron kind of, she turns to Oleron. You see the two seem to be talking to each other as you suddenly can't hear them. And they kind of turn back, and Oleron begins speaking again in your minds and goes, "I agree. This is the plan. I'll make it look like it's an accident from or an attack by the Toth. I'll take out all 3 houses in one go. I do require one thing of you lot, though. I need you to go and infiltrate the House of Jehoshaphat after the whatever you're planning to do with the mines. And I need you to take that sword, and I need you to toss it in the deepest river you can, or the deepest ocean. I don't care. That thing
Is it
cannot
magical?
be found. It's not
Understood.
magical. It's a symbol. Whoever claims it can be king of our people, which is a problem.
I could just disintegrate it.
If you think you can, feel free to try. I don't
mean,
know.
If not, I have a solution.
Magical, if it's not magical, I should be able to. Or we could just take it and never give it back.
No one
Throw
in
it in
my
the back
house
pocket.
has ever held that sword. I have no knowledge of whether it's magical, what its capabilities are. All I know is that whoever holds it is king.
All right,
Plus,
tell you what.
hey,
If it's not magical, delete it. If it is, we'll just make sure it's
out
never
of
found.
character question.
Yeah, what's up?
Assuming it's the sword from the quest we didn't do.
True.
Did we get informed if it was magical or just a symbol?
He told you it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sigrun's like, if he was
He-
truthful back then, it shouldn't be magical, but that could have been changed, or he
Look,
could
if
have
it is
fucking lied.
magical, if it is, I'm gonna keep it as the thing to study. I'm not giving it back anyway.
Yeah. Oleron looks at Manute looks at all of you and goes, "Honestly, again, just take care of it. We'll call it even. As long as it's out of the Helly Lands, that's all I need.
You
Beyond
want it done
that,
quick, loud.
doesn't matter. The house will be wiped out anyways."
Perfect.
He looks at Sigrun and goes, I also have one last request for you specifically, and I need to make this abundantly clear. Once your people are safe, get them off the continent.
That is
I think
my
that
hope.
was the plan.
I have no care where you settle. Stay off the continent. I don't. If you want to invade the northern lands, my cousin's an asshole. Feel free. As far as it goes, just get off the land. You're going to be too much of a problem for us in the future otherwise, and it's nothing personal. I have no interest in enslaving the Scruffy or slaves in general, but I do have an interest in keeping people who can raid and are immune to magic off my lands.
You know, I will, obviously, I have no control over all my people, but I do not plan to have them stay and get enslaved again.
Depending on how many we get, we can move them to Dragon's Gate. They're doing a whole Protect All Mortals alliance thing.
That sounds fine to me, guys. But I'm letting you know, it starts tomorrow at 600 hours in the morning. You'll see when the sun rises. That's when we will begin the attack. You have till then to figure out.
Raleigh will hold out her hand to shake and say, "Easiest deal I've ever made."
Alron will shake your hand with his very wooden hand.
Yeah.
He grasps you, and you realize his entire right arm is missing.
Yeah. My very small hand.
Yep. As he shakes your hand, he nods and goes, "All right, well, as is required, and you all can return to your wherever you're staying. If anybody questions your position or where you are at the time, mention that you're currently under the protection of House Azazel." And Grigori kind of smiles at that.
Easy enough. As I'll get up and ready to leave.
And he, for a moment, the last thing he looks over at Lucius and goes, "By the way, you might want to cover up the Firecrest symbol. Also, someone was asking about you recently. There was a man who came through these lands about a month back. Said he was looking for a man named Lucius that could turn into a werebear. Said something about wanting to kill him and all his family. You know anything about that?"
No,
Not again.
he'll get his on eventually.
Fully understandable. Yes, I just want to make sure I passed on the message in this new alliance we have here.
I hold up my paw, I guess, with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll find him when I'm ready.
He nods and goes, "All right." And he looks about and he goes, "I wish you luck. If you die, of course you all know that you're not associated with me or my colleagues. Otherwise, best of luck and a good battle to you." As he turns to turns back to Grigori and they disappear suddenly.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're done here.
That is about as good as it could have gone.
And with
All right.
that,
Well, looks like we have things to prepare for.
the party heads back to their cave and begins to plan. And that is where we're going to end today's session because it's been 3.5 hours, and we thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time for Slave Raid. All right.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, I was say we gotta do it after. Do we want to do the slave